It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Monday, June 10th, 2024. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful day here in New York City, a beautiful weekend in New York City as well. A great, great time to be alive, a great time for all things combat sports, coming off a very busy weekend in combat sports. Dare I say, a hodgepodge of events transpired over the weekend. A lot of fun things, a lot of great things to talk about, and what a show we have planned for all of you. Oh my gosh, I am excited about today's program. So I hope you're doing well wherever you may be. I sure am. Unfortunately, we are down one person on today's program, New York Rick, who I don't think in all my 12 years of knowing him has ever, not only has he never called in sick, I don't recall him ever being sick, period. Like even on a weekend, on an off day. I have no recollection of this. And I've known him now for over 12 years. Unfortunately, the bug hits us all. He is under the weather, but I'm told he has turned the corner. I'm told he is feeling better. So we will miss him on today's program. He is home. Hello, New York Rick. And hopefully we will reconvene on Wednesday. And if not, next Monday, we'll be here. So down one person, but great to be here with the crew and so much to talk about. On a beautiful Monday in New York City, as always, we are presented by our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the UFC. More on them throughout the program. Can't wait for today's show. A beautiful show, a beautiful lineup. I'm really excited about this one. An A+, an all-star lineup, if you will. Back into the show, we will talk to Marlon Chito Vera, who you may have heard is fighting on August 3rd. That fantastic fight night lineup going down in Abu Dhabi against Deiveson Figueiredo at 135, his first fight since UFC 299 when he, unfortunately for him, lost to Sean O'Malley. So we look forward to that. What about the Diamond, Dustin Poirier? I don't know if this is his first podcast interview, if you want to call us a podcast, since the fight, which transpired about 9 days ago. But it's definitely one of the first. I think it's the first, but he may have pre-taped something. Anyway, Dustin Poirier will join us live at 3:15 to talk about the fight against Islam Makhachev, how he's feeling, some pretty serious injuries coming out of that fight, his future, all that and more. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to talk to the great Dustin Poirier, and he'll join us at 3:15. What about Savannah Marshall picking up the win in her MMA/PFL debut? What a fight that was, and more on that throughout the program as well. She'll join us at 2:30 to talk about her first MMA victory and everything that went on afterwards with Claressa Shields. That was over in Newcastle. What about Dominick Reyes picking up his first win since 2019? Unbelievable. 4-fight losing streak, all kinds of bad luck, all kinds of injuries, people counting him out. Dominick Reyes getting the win on Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky over Dustin Jacoby. A great scene, a heartwarming scene. Amazing stuff. Unfortunately, so he'll join us. Unfortunately for Jared Cannonier, who will also join us in about 30 minutes, he can't say the same. A frustrating night in Louisville. More on that in a moment. But like I said, a really busy weekend. For me, the highlight of the weekend happened about, 18 or so hours ago. I was in the area on a rare Sunday evening here in the financial district with my parents, and they have never come to see where we do the show. My mom came to the Bryant Park studio back in the day, but never this one, never the setup here and all that stuff. So I had the opportunity to take both my mother and father to the office, bring them here, show them around, and it was a great thrill. And there's the photo right there. My dad on the right side of the screen, Claude Helwani. My mom on the left side, Panina Helwani, and this is an incredible photo. I might even put it on the wall. I've always said I get my work ethic and my drive and my determination, all that from my dad, an incredible role model, and I get my interviewing skills and my compassion and my empathy from my mom. And so together they made me who I am. So if you have any problems with me, you can blame them. But it was really, really nice to have them there. And I love that photo. That was really cool. And they were they weren't sure what to expect. And they were very impressed. So that was great. That was the highlight of the weekend for me. Probably not for any of you. As far as stuff that has happened since we last spoke, a boatload of things have happened. On Thursday, there was another press conference between Nathan Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. This is like the 5th press conference they've done for this fight. It's going to happen on July 6th. So we're finally less than a month away. Thank the heavens for that. It's going down July 6th in Anaheim. And this time it actually popped off. Now, was it legit? Was it not legit? It seemed pretty damn legit to me. We do have some of the footage here in case you haven't seen it yet. It got a little dicey there between Team Masvidal, there he is, and Team Diaz. This courtesy of Fight Hub TV. All kinds of drama there. Oh, I mean, look at that. Swinging for the fences. This make you want to see the fight more, GC?
Not really, no. No, like, I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous scene, but the fight itself, I mean, it doesn't evoke like, now I can't wait to see this. This is going to be...
Because it's not even them involved, right? I know Diaz said some stuff afterwards, but it's just like...
Yeah, if it was them, I still don't think it would make me want to see the fight.
Scale of 1 to 10, what's your interest level in this?
I don't even know the new date. If that gives you any...
I mean, I just said it like 30
July
seconds.
6th.
July 6th.
Yeah, see, that's how interested I am.
I mean, it's a good point.
The other. A 6. Yeah, 6.
By the way, for someone who doesn't know the date, a 6 is actually quite high. I thought you were going to say like a 2.
I think I'm giving it too much credit. I think it's like a 4. It's okay. The thing is I'm going to watch it. Like, when the date rolls around, when push comes to shove and it's on television, I'm going to watch it. But like, am I eager beaver, can't wait, checking odds, watching press conferences, watching everything beforehand? No. So, gonna watch, not crazy excited about it.
What about you, Frank? You seem into it.
You know, I was more interested when it was going head to head with a UFC event.
What?
Just to like watch that
because it was a
train
car
wreck.
crash, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. However, and there's too many press conferences. Like,
Way too many. It's overexposed.
He's already made it clear, Diaz, I'm talking about, that he's not into this. So why continue to have him do it? Like, this is the stuff that's going to come out of it. And I don't know. Like, I think it's better when they're actually fighting and not all this crap leading up to it.
Poor Brian Campbell, who keeps having to ask Diaz these very like deep questions, like the 5th time around. Golly, not easy. Anyway, that happened on Thursday. We found out on Friday morning that there's a new date for the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. They are going ahead with it, and it's November 15th. Now, a few things that are interesting about this. A, there's a new date. B, same location, AT&T Stadium, same platform, Netflix, different day of the week, Friday, November 15th. It's a football game later on. I think it's a Monday night game. There's all kinds of competition on Saturday with football. How do we feel about a Friday date for this, GC? Does this make you more interested in it?
That was my first reaction when I saw the new date was, oh, this is on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's still going to be, late in the late hours of the night. So like, I don't know, like, is that going to affect sales? Like, if it's still on essentially a weekend night, like it being Friday, how much is it going to affect sales?
When you say sales, by the way, you mean ticket sales, right? Because it's not a pay-per-view.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is not a pay-per-view. I always forget that with it being on Netflix.
Yeah.
Then I don't even know how much of a difference it's going to make. I mean, Friday night, Saturday night, what's really the difference? Like, you're still likely going to be off work. You're likely going to be free. And I just think the spectacle that it is, people are still going to tune in.
Yeah, I wonder if people's viewing habits are different on a Friday because, maybe you're less inclined to get together with people. You're just going to watch it by yourself. I don't know. But I know they look at this stuff, and maybe it's a big college football Saturday night. You don't want to go head-to-head with that. So don't hate it. But yes, obviously the biggest thing is that Taylor Serrano, at least for me, is still remaining on the card.
It's huge. I think the fact that they're still at AT&T Stadium is also pretty big.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's on Netflix. That's still a big deal. Let's see, because there's still, I think, some people who don't want to see this. I think there are some people who are now even more concerned about Tyson's health after, he had to pull out and withdraw from the original date, which was July 20th. But they're going ahead with it for better or worse. And now I'm starting to see some stuff between Jake and KSI. I would urge both sides to stop with the tweeting, get a deal done. You'll all make a boatload of money. Put your egos aside and let's figure this out once and for all. Anyway, that was Friday morning.
Quick question, though.
Yes.
Are all of the fights being moved to November 15th? Have any of them been jeopardized?
Frank, this is an amazing question. And I actually had it on my mental checklist to say and then moved on.
I actually was wondering as well about like Darren Till, things like that.
I am told they're reevaluating the other fights.
Okay, so the only ones that are confirmed are Taylor Serrano, and Tyson, and Paul.
Yep.
Right.
Also, man, when you really think about the new date, like with everything that's going to be going on, obviously the fall is just like a jam-packed sports schedule. They were competing with the Olympics won't even have started, like essentially nothing.
Oh, yeah.
That Saturday night in July.
Yeah.
Like nothing. That would have been all there was.
A little Euro Copa America action. Might actually be done by then.
I actually think
Might
they're
be
done.
done.
I think Wimbledon's done.
Yeah, you're right.
I think there's like
Nothing.
not anything going on. Obviously,
NBA Summer League.
the next week. Yeah, Summer League. Yeah, not much competition. So I'm curious as to
it's a great
what
point.
the amount of viewers are going to be.
That's a great point. Typically, you don't want to try to, but and some people think that the reason why they're doing Fridays because UFC's on Saturday. Last I heard, the UFC day was November 9th, so the week before. So I don't think it has anything to do with it. But let's see.
I think it's because of football.
Yeah,
I think it's because football is on Saturday.
Right. Isn't that a big SEC night?
I mean, any Saturday college football, like that's what people are going to be locked into. Like,
Right.
This would just be background noise.
What about later Friday night? You had a pretty solid one championship event highlighted by a big win by one Mikey Musumeci, a.k.a. Darth Rigatone, one of Eric's favorite athletes, I should say. And then Musumeci comes on the mic and drops a killer promo. Did you hear this promo? In case you missed it, here it is.
I competed with Gabriel like 3 or 4 years ago, and I lost this match, right? So this match was to show everyone that when you have an obstacle, you go to do it, and you overcome it. My opponent talked a lot of about me for about 4 years. I respect him so much, but for 4 years, he commented on every freaking post I did. I'm not trying to curse. Like talking I just cursed again. Then he did something very personal to me. And when he did this personal involving family, that's when I got angry. But everyone talking you couldn't beat him. There's no way. He's a division heavier than you. I just submitted him easy as
Yeah, Musumeci. I like it. That was great shit. Well done. Curse away, bud. And he made it personal. And he was commenting on your post. How annoying. All the time? Every time? Even more annoying.
Unironically, I had some rigatoni on Friday night. I feel like that helped propelled him to.
I wish you didn't say the
one.
unironically part. I wish you did it. I wish you did like a mini fight feast for Mikey Musumeci.
And I just cooked rigatoni.
Yes, in his honor. Did you end up having KFC on Saturday night?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I thought about getting some chicken littles.
Yeah, I was looking for it. I kind of
Your stomach is thankful that you did.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm losing a step. No KFC. I still got the UFC 302.
Yeah, what's going on?
I mean, I got to do.
There's been like 3 events.
I got to do some spring cleaning here. Just one event.
Well, I mean, usually on the Monday, do you have the previous one?
Yeah, I usually go to the next one. I need to get the Perez Tatsuro
come on.
poster up. I need to order one of those bad boys. Hang it in the rafters. All-time event this Saturday.
KSW with another event. Phil DeFries with another win. So they're rolling. And that was another event that happened on Friday. Then we get to Saturday. Octagon, which is like the best kept secret here in North America, but is booming and exploding in Europe. They had 28,000 people at their event. 28 freaking thousand. I mean, look at this. Look at Octagon. Just out here filling up soccer stadiums.
How about this fireworks show too, man? It's like
Yes.
the 4th of July over there. The pyrotechnics are incredible.
Unbelievable. PFL in Newcastle. The Savannah Marshall fight was just it was kind of wild because it was very sloppy, and when you're expecting to see a pro boxer, an Olympian, an undisputed champion, you're expecting, very technical, all that stuff. And it was there, but because of the nature of the fight where she gets taken down twice and she just has to try to finish this, it was very fun. It was incredibly entertaining. She won with about 30 seconds left in the first round via standing TKO. And then afterwards, Claressa Shields walks in, and obviously they have the history. And it was reminiscent of George St. Pierre and Matt Hughes back in the day, where George St. Pierre said, "I'm not impressed with your performance." That's, Claressa was playing that role before the fight and after the fight. And I tweeted after, like, F it, just do the rematch in MMA now. I think in a perfect world, you have her win one more time to build a little momentum. But, you're playing with a little bit of fire there. That's a very sellable fight, especially in the UK. And she is a star over there. A great performance, a fun fight. And yeah, now they've got something. And very cool to see the Aspinalls in her corner. Big Tom there, Andy there. The whole family was in the corner. So that was great. They also announced on Friday that they had signed, on Saturday during the event, that they had signed former UFC fighter Mark Diakese. He'll compete this year for them and then next year in the season. So stay tuned for that. I'll skip UFC for a brief moment. Ryzen had an event on Saturday morning, headlined by Kyoji Horiguchi against, not Saturday morning, late Saturday night going into Sunday morning. They had an event headlined by Kyoji Horiguchi versus Sergio Pettis, and Horiguchi won, and he's incredible. Afterwards, bringing in his bride, newly married. I like when he's like, "I want you in here, I want you." He's like, "Come on, let's go." He was like, "All right, we don't have all day here." But it was a great scene, beautiful stuff. And they even announced Manny Pacquiao. Did you see this? We asked Saki Kabara about Manny Pacquiao on Wednesday's program, and that was a lot of fun. And that was obviously for the Floyd Mayweather fight, but he actually was brought in there, and they had a whole face-off with Chihiro Suzuki, and that's going to be on the July 28th card, Super Ryzen 3. So Manny Pacquiao back in the mix. This is a boxing match, by the way, not an MMA fight. So you had that on Sunday morning, and then you had NXT making its debut at the Apex on Sunday night. And what about the Apex? Shining bright like a diamond. Oh, we've never seen the Apex like this before. I mean, look at that footage. Let's see it one more time. So nice. We have to see it. I mean, look at it. It's booming in there. It's packed. What about the photo? We have a photo of this too. They did a great job dressing it up. This venue is perfect for NXT. And it's important to note, as much as we're applauding this, this is the Apex. This is the venue that we talk about ad nauseum on this program. And it's a very sore subject because we feel like it was a great spot for the UFC during the pandemic, but they're on a roll to such a degree now. Witness the fact that a fight night event headlined by Jared Cannonier versus Nassourdine Imavov is now the highest grossing gate-wise fight night in UFC history, the one that happened this weekend in Kentucky of all places. There's no Kentuckian on the bill there, and yet they're breaking all kinds of records. That event, the NXT PLE on Peacock, is not Raw, is not SmackDown, is not a major event. It's perfect. That is the equivalent of Contender Series, Tough, etc. It's not SmackDown, it's not Raw, it's not a WWE event. And so that's perfect for that. And that's what it should be used, in my opinion, for the UFC, meaning the second-tier events. I'm not talking about a second-tier fight night. They should all be on the road at this point, just like they were all on the road back in the day. Not to go over this all over again, but it was perfect. Wouldn't be surprised if they use it again. And there was something about the way it was dressed up, filled with more fans, that just made it feel so much more lively. That's the problem. It feels so sterile and quiet and just lifeless when we see the UFC events there. It's quiet. I mean, it's literally quiet. It's like you're watching pandemic MMA in 2024, and none of us want to relive that. I always find it so interesting when Dana White is asked about the relationship with WWE under the TKO umbrella, because he's always very quick to say they have nothing to do with each other. Like, he has nothing to do with WWE. He really doesn't want anything to do with WWE. And he often says that WWE, use his people, his production people. I mean, if I'm watching that, I mean, maybe it should be the other way, if you know what I'm saying. It just feels like he is very clearly trying to state that he wants nothing to do with it and doesn't want to be associated. And I understand that. It's better for WWE to be associated with UFC than vice versa, if only because One is the real deal and the other one isn't. And it's a lot more detrimental to the real deal to be associated with the scripted stuff. I get that. But from a production standpoint, WWE's track record is pretty stellar. And their events are A++. And so I don't think it's a problem sharing minds and talent. And you see what they did with that venue. It's never looked like that before. So that was actually quite promising. Oh, maybe this could actually be a lot more exciting than than what we've seen in the past out of the Apex. Now, it's going to go back to the same old, we presume, on Saturday. But it was a nice sight for sore eyes. Now, let's get to the UFC event. The UFC event on Saturday started off a little bit slow. They're in Kentucky. There's no stoppages. Slow. But the main card was quite entertaining, I thought. A bunch of finishes. Things really started to pick up once Bruno Ferreira got his spinning back elbow knockout. I think just the 9th in UFC history. It was either the 9th or 10th in UFC history. Excuse me, the 8th or 9th against Dustin Stoltzfus. Shades of Matt Brown against Eric Silva. Afterwards, we got Raul Rosas Jr. with the submission win over Ricky Turcios, and it seemed like there was some bad blood there at the beginning, and it ends with a RNC win for Raul. What was the sound that he made, GC?
Oh, there's no way I could even try to recreate that.
Just give it a whirl. Give it a whirl.
No, I mean, you got to go first if we go to this.
Well, I don't know. It's like,
it sounded like he was saying chi-wee-wees in a really high voice.
What is that?
I have no idea. Yeah, that was a good attempt at it there, Frankie.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea. Man.
Watch
the
it
crowd
be
popped for
extremely
it, though.
offensive.
The crowd popped for it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was offensive. I don't think he was saying anything.
I think he was just hype.
Yeah, I think he was hyped too, man. It was great. It was hilarious.
Raul gets the win. Dominick Reyes gets the win. And we'll talk to Dominick soon. But what about the Jared Cannonier and Nassourdine Imavov fight? Now, it ends in the 4th round. And, I think Imavov was winning. And perhaps he was on his way, but it wasn't like, one-way traffic. And by now, you've probably seen the footage. You've probably seen the outrage. You've probably seen all the takes. I thought it was an absolutely awful stoppage by Jason Herzog, who I feel compelled every time I reference this to say that I think Jason Herzog is one of the very best referees in MMA today. Like, he is up there. He is top 3 at worst. Very strong case for 1 or 2, 3 at worst. And I just don't understand why he stopped that fight. And we do believe that the Twitter account that is at Jason Herzog MMA is his own Twitter account, although it's not verified. But those days are kind of over. And people are giving him a lot of shit. And I can't even imagine what the notifications and the replies and the DMs were like. But he did write this on Sunday. I get it. I know what I was seeing in the moment, but I've gotten enough feedback telling me I need to reevaluate, so I will. This is the closest, by the way, to what I've been campaigning for, which is some sort of accountability from these officials. A pool reporter, a 2-minute report, that type of thing, where we could kind of understand if A, you still feel after the fact like this was the right call, and B, what you were seeing in the moment. I know that's just 2 lines and it's pretty vague, but it is nice to know that A, he sees the stuff, he's getting feedback, and he's going to reevaluate. I'd like to think, given how good of a referee he is, once he reevaluates, once he talks to people in the know, he comes to the conclusion that that was an awful stoppage. Was Cannonier rocked? Yes. Did he take some shots? Yes. Did he run away at one point? Yes. Was one of the last strikes thrown in the fight a right hook from Cannonier? Yes. Did he seem out of it when the fight was stopped? No. And I don't even want to go into the if it would have gone 10 more seconds. No, that's not how you stop fights. That's not how you ref fights. And it's not like he was getting battered and bruised throughout the entire fight. That was a moment. That was a slice. That was an exchange. And it wasn't going well. But he was on his feet. Was he dazed? Was he on wobbly legs? Yes. But I stress that right hook. He threw the last significant strike, or maybe the second to last, at worst, in the fight. He threw a right hook. If he was completely out, go back to the tape. Unfortunately, we can't show it because of copyright. We have some photos to just back up the madness to a degree. I mean, you really can't get a great sense of it all. there you see, I mean, Cannonier isn't a loud, braggadocious guy. He's not a complainer per se. He was stunned. We were all stunned. I don't expect Imavov to say afterwards, oh yeah, bad stoppage. I don't deserve this. So we're not looking to him for that. But this was a bad stoppage. Unequivocally, one of the worst in recent memory. And it's shocking because it's coming via one of the best refs in the game, without a doubt. I was legit shocked because I was actually confused upon watching it live. Great crowd, by the way. I was confused because I thought maybe Cannonier dropped his mouthpiece, that it fell out, and that's why Herzog was momentarily stopping the fight. And then I realized, oh no, he was actually stopping the fight. Sometimes in those wild exchanges, a mouthpiece flies out, the ref steps in at an opportune time. That wasn't really an opportune time, but I couldn't understand. And I didn't think that it was on the verge of getting stopped. He was definitely, he was definitely wobbly. And there was the moment where he ran for safety, but never did I think in that exchange that Jason Herzog, of all referees, would stop the fight. What did you think of the stoppage, GC?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought it was bad. The fact that Jared Cannonier never went, it wasn't even a knockdown. I mean, he was wobbled for sure. Like that moment where he started moving forward, like he was about to face plant, but then he caught himself. He got away, and then like you said, he was the last one to throw a punch. I just think it was ridiculous. Like you said, it was a close fight. You said maybe Imavov was winning, but I think on two of the judges' scorecards going into that fifth round, unless they scored a 10-8 for Imavov, then it was going to be 38-38 on two of the judges' scorecards, 2-2 going into that fifth round. And you got a guy in Cannonier that's 40 years old, needed to win this fight if he was going to get back into the title picture. Now it feels like with this loss, it's pretty much cemented that he's not going to get another shot at the title. And if he is, it's going to be a longer road with his age. Then I just don't know how it happens. So for it to end like that for him is brutal to watch. And you said it's shocking because it's Herzog. I mean, just less than 2 months ago, we watched Weili Zhang and Yan Xiaonan. Yan Xiaonan went completely out at the end of the first round, and then in the second round had 50 shots rained down on her while she was flattened out, and Herzog let it go and didn't call that fight. And then to call it for this one when Cannonier doesn't even get knocked down is crazy. It's wild to see.
Yes, great point by you. I stand corrected. 29-28 going into the fourth. Two judges had it in favor of Cannonier.
Yeah, you have to think that it was going to go to Imavov, and it was likely, there was still 3.5 minutes left. So, I mean, maybe it turned into a 10-8, or maybe Imavov even got the finish later into the round. But for it to end like that, when he never even went down, and then immediately Cannonier starts protesting, he is fully there of how can you be doing this? How can you be stopping this fight right now? Yeah, I mean, it sucks to see.
It's another great point that, Cannonier isn't getting any younger. All these fights mean so much. A main event fight against a streaking guy in his division. Ultimately, in the UFC, they don't reverse these, and the commissions don't reverse these. You can protest, but they never reverse these. So that's detrimental. Now, ultimately, you're working in a organization where you get one win, you're right back in there. It's not like you're eliminated. It's not like this is the World Cup and shit happens and now you got to wait 4 years. They decide, right? You can literally get a title shot coming off a loss, but it halts your momentum. Who knows if he's on the, we can ask him this question on the show win model still. You may lose out on some money. You may lose out on a knockout that was to come. I mean, there's just so much that you're being robbed of. And actually, I use that word when reacting to it all. And I had a couple of people be like, you use the word rob too much. I actually never use the word rob. Never. Even when it's when it's a close decision or something, no, there's a difference between a close call, a controversial call, and a robbery. I think Cannonier was robbed of the moment. He was robbed of the ability to keep on fighting, to survive, and then to ultimately win that fight. Again, it wasn't like he was getting killed the entire fight. And there have been some incredible examples throughout the years, none better than Czech Congo versus Pat Barry back in the day, where, a fighter looked completely out of it and he came back to win. and he came back to win in a really big way. Obviously, Shane Carwin and Brock Lesnar is another example of that. Those two in particular, I know those are some of the most famous examples, pale in comparison in terms of the damage that was inflicted, pale in comparison to what Cannonier was going through. He deserved a chance. Very, very rare, especially with those moments and a referee like Herzog to see a standing TKO like that. And I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I was very, very surprised that he stopped it in that moment. I just think that I'd like to think that if he could get that one back, he would take it back. And by the way, I give him credit for being on Twitter. Not a lot, there's Goddard out there. I know Big John is out there, but he's not obviously reffing these days. Herb Dean is sometimes out there. But I listen, I actually feel bad even saying his name because I can't even imagine the shit that must be coming his way. It's unfortunate. You got to make a bang bang call. It's the toughest job in all of sports, in my opinion. The job of a MMA referee. I don't know if there is a tougher, more subjective job where you have to make split-second decisions that affect the outcome of a contest, where it's just not as clear-cut as in other sports. It's tough. I don't envy these guys, and they don't get paid a lot of money. And he's not a guy who has a history of screwing up. He's not a guy that you can't trust with these big moments. Like, he has been there, done that. It's just sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes you make a bad call. And I think this was a bad day. I think it was a bad call. Is it bad enough to run it back, though, GC, in your opinion?
I don't think they're going to.
No.
I don't think they're going
I think
to.
you could justify it, by the way. Like 2-2 heading into the fifth, if that round ends.
I don't see them. It doesn't feel like they've really done Cannonier that many favors throughout his career. I don't imagine they're going to do one now. Feels like they're going to put Imavov on the Paris card and just try to continue his ascent.
It's a tough one because you're right about favors, but also they like when there's controversial moments, they rarely run it back right away. Rarely, unless it's like an eye poke situation. Like Jeremy Stevens versus Yair Rodriguez, they'll run it back. But, I mean, maybe you do Sean Strickland against Cannonier, and that's the bone that you're giving him. He does have the win over him. Strickland coming off a win, too. Maybe
I just don't know why Strickland would take that. I mean, Strickland's calling for the belt.
Yeah.
He views in his eye, he said on the mic that, like, he did the UFC a favor by taking that Paulo Costa fight. I just can't imagine.
What's the favor?
That's what he said on the mic.
No, I know, but it's just like I don't understand that one. What's
in
the
his
favor?
eyes is that he went down in the rankings. What was Costa during the fight? 7th?
Oh, in that regard, yeah, but he needed a win. He just lost the belt. It's just a weird one. Like, he had to get a win to get back on.
Sure. I'm just talking about his mindset.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Is he going to go and fight the 7th guy again? I don't think so.
Is that what he is? Let's see.
Cannonier, no, but he's 4th and he just lost to the 7th guy, so I'm sure he's going to fall a few slots. I just don't think there's any way. I think Sean Strickland's going to be holding out for another shot at the belt. I mean, especially if it's DDP Izzy. He has a win over Izzy. He thinks he deserves a rematch against DDP with how close their first fight was. I don't think so.
Imavov was actually calling for Sean Strickland in Paris.
Oh, yeah, and I don't think Sean Strickland's taking that one either, dude. No way.
I think he would kind of relish the idea of being the American going to Paris. Am I crazy?
Maybe, but he got off the couch and went up to 205 and beat Imavov handily at the beginning of last year. So I don't think either of them are getting the Sean Strickland fight.
No, neither of them. Strickland has become that guy. He's become that Michael Bisping character who everyone calls out. He's kind of like in some respects, the middleweight Paddy Pimblett. Like
because I feel like in their heads, they all think that they can beat him.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, obviously, Cannonier, close split decision, and Imavov took an L to him. But, I feel like they all think they can beat him, and, like, they'll get money, they'll get a payday, and he brings a lot of eyes to fights now. So they think it's this great call-out. But, I don't think either of these guys are getting that fight. I
feel for Cannonier. I really do.
For sure, man. I mean, since he came down to middleweight, he's like 7-2 with. Before this, he was 7-2 with losses to Izzy and Whitaker. Like with a win over Sean Strickland. Like he was doing really well at middleweight, and now with the age, I mean the ACL injury and everything, it's tough. It's tough as they say.
Yeah. Yes. David Branch, Anderson Silva, Jack Hermanson, lost to Whitaker, beat Kelvin Gastelum, beat Derek Brunson, lost to Izzy for the belt, beat Sean Strickland, beat Marvin Vettori, and this was pretty much a year since his last fight, since that 5-round win over Marvin Vettori, and then he was out for all this time. Yeah, tough one. You want to say something?
Oh no, I think I was just typing. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah,
I heard
so my
the.
phone.
Sometimes I know that you're about to say something when I hear the sound of the
Like
air.
the mic opening up.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess one other thing that I did have from this card, beyond the fights, was like with all the decisions at the beginning, like the judges again were off to a weird start. Like we got multiple very dissenting scorecards. Like that first fight of the night, there was a 30-27 each way. I think 3 of the first 5 fights were all split decisions. Just kind of sketchy to see. And I know they were in Kentucky. There's a guy named Matt Jones who's a big sports radio personality in Kentucky, and there was a judge named Matt Jones. And I was diving deep to see if they were the same person, but I couldn't find that out. Yeah. Like he's a big Kentucky sports radio personality, and his name is Matt Jones.
You think it's the same thing?
I don't know. It's just weird that they were in Kentucky, and there was a judge named Matt Jones who I'd never heard of before.
Damn. That would be a crazy story if they put him in there. I kind of feel like that would be a long shot, but maybe he moonlights.
Yeah. Regardless, some iffy judging.
Yeah.
To start the night.
And usually when they go to these towns where they're not usually there, they put like a local guy in the main event, and then you're like, well, this is exactly why you need to use one of the top 4 or 5 refs, and this time they did, and disaster struck. So let us talk to the man who unfortunately was on the wrong end of that, what I think is a really, really bad call. He's gracious enough to join us. I'm sure he's not in the best of moods, but we appreciate his time very much. He is Jared Cannonier, who's here joining us after a disappointing night in Louisville. Jared, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. Can you even describe? We're here talking about it. We're getting fired up. This happened to you. It's totally different. It's very personal. Less than 2 days later, how are you processing what happened on Saturday night?
Well, when it happened, it's gut-wrenching to say the least. It definitely took some time to collect myself. I had to go back and rewatch the fight and really relive the whole thing all over again. And it was really gut-wrenching. It feels like the opportunity to do great things was pretty much stolen from me in that moment. And it's just something that, as fighters, we win and we lose, and then we have to live with it. And it's definitely not fun. Doesn't get any easier every time. But it doesn't feel like I lost the fight. I just feel like it was taken from me. You know what I mean? The opportunity to persevere, which is one thing I've done in a lot of my fights, and continue on and try to make good on the fight. You know what I mean? So gut wrenching is an understatement.
Mm-hmm. When you watch it, what are you seeing? Like when you watch that final sequence, what is your takeaway?
Well, when I watched that final sequence, when he hit me with the shot, it was a good shot, and definitely took my equilibrium away. But I was definitely in recovery mode. I had my wits about me. I was able to create some distance and then turn to face my opponent. And he did everything he was supposed to do. He kept the pressure on and tried to mount a good offense to try to finish the fight. But I was still there. My hands were up. I was covering up most of those shots, especially in the final sequence. I even threw a counter strike, a nice clean counter strike that I think landed. And then I put my hands right back up to defend for whatever was coming next. And that's when the ref stepped in. And definitely the absolute worst time for him to step in right after I throw a shot. I'm competently defending myself. You know what I mean? My eyes are clear. I'm looking at my opponent. I'm creating space. I'm just intelligently trying to recover from, that sequence. So I think the ref had more elevated, was more elevated by the whole thing than I was. I was in sort of like autopilot. Okay, this is a bad situation to be in, but I've been here before, so this is where I recover, and then try to mount the offense back to take the pressure off of me. So it was definitely, it's frustrating as hell to go back and watch it every time. You know, I've watched it like 7 or 8 times, and it's frustrating as hell every time. You know, I feel like I was definitely winning that fight up until that point. Nassourdine was definitely getting some momentum in that fight in the later moments of the fight, but still, I was at that moment I was winning the fight. So again, I mean, just frustrating, gut wrenching. A lot went into this camp. It's been a long time since I've been in the octagon. You know, it's been about a year, and it was a highly competitive fight. You know what I mean? And the opportunity to persevere, which is one thing I've always done in my fights, been able to persevere, go through that adversity, and come out, was just, you know, snatched away from me. Not to mention the chance for, you know, to get those 2 checks, my second check, my win bonus check, and probably even that moment could have made it a fight of the night. You know what I mean? Had that fight kept going, that moment could have made it a fight of the night. So it could have been a potential performance bonus. So opportunities, man. They feel like the opportunity was just taken away from me, and as well as Nassourdine. You know, the opportunity for him to have a clean finish, a clean win, for him to go in. And instead, we have this controversy that we have to deal with. But yeah, it's just not something that nobody wants to go through. I'm sure the ref is is catching a lot of flack on this, and rightfully so, because a lot of times, you know, there's no accountability in these situations. So you know, it just sucks for everybody that we have to go through this, especially when it was the main event. It was a ranked middleweight fight. I was the one who was put more at risk by taking this fight. You know what I mean? So all that just came right to the forefront of it. You know, at that moment, all of that was just taken away. Everything that all the momentum that I had built up to this point, trying to get to the title fight, coming off of that win against Vittori last year, trying to keep that momentum going. Again, I was winning this fight up until that point. On the scorecards, I was winning. And then just everything that I went throughout this camp. You know, this wasn't an easy camp for me. You know, yeah. So it just really sucks to go through this right now.
Why wasn't it an easy camp?
Well, a few reasons. You know, during this camp, I had a medical emergency where I had a severe allergic reaction. One of the worst that I've ever had in my life. You know, my face had swelled up on me, my tongue had swollen up on me. I had to go get some shots and stuff to get that thing fixed, and it was just really weird. It just one more thing to concern myself with during these fights. You know, during fight camp, and on top of that, you know, me and my wife, we were expecting, but then she had ended up miscarrying like 2 weeks before. So, you know, just carrying all that stuff into this fight, I really wanted to get the win. It's been a minute since I've gotten paid, you know what I mean? So I wanted to get those 2 checks. On top of that, I really wanted to, you know, to compete, you know what I mean? To have the performance that I really wanted. To go in there and fight and win on my own volition, under my own power. And if I lose the way, you know what I mean? Lose like a warrior, go out on my shield. Not going out throwing punches, you know what I mean? Trying to recover and having the opportunity to have that comeback moment just taken away from me. So it just wasn't an easy camp, you know what I mean? The fight wasn't easy. Nassourdine did everything he was supposed to do. It wasn't, you know, he put up a good fight. But I felt like I was on my way to winning that fight. I was getting ready to turn the gas up in the 4th and 5th round and solidify the victory. And that moment was taken away from me.
by the way, most importantly, I'm very sorry that you and your wife just went through that. So I hope that she's doing okay, all things considered. And everything that you lay out makes it even harder to stomach from the outside looking in. We were wondering before you came on whether you were on that show win structure, and that would make it even costlier for you. And now we find out that that is true. Is there any indication that the brass agrees that this was a horrible decision and will try to make this right to you? Do you know of any plans of doing that?
Yes, I think they're all in agreement that it was a very bad stoppage, like a horrible stoppage.
Yeah.
I think the whole world is in agreement that was the worst thing that could have happened that night. That fight ended the way it ended. So yes, they're all in agreement. As far as any compensation, I don't know. I want to petition for a rematch. The UFC is going to Paris in September. I would love to go to Nassoudine's backyard and make that right. He'll have the home field advantage. It won't be people chanting USA. It'll be champion. It'll be people chanting Français or whatever, however they say France and Spanish in French. But that's what I would like. To make that right. To make that right, that's something that I would want. That a rematch in Paris. He came over here, so I'm more than happy to go over there. It wouldn't be my first time I've gone to somebody's backyard and come out with my hand raised. I've done it in Brazil. I've done it in Copenhagen. I'm more than happy to do it again in Paris. So that's something that I want. So that's something we're going to be pushing for, trying to get that rematch. Because I lost a lot in that moment. You know what I mean? I was ranked number 4. I don't know how that's going to affect the rankings. I was in good position to make this to make another run for the title. I was right there at the doorstep of a title. So I don't know how that's going to affect anything. But yes, the UFC brass is in agreement that was a bad stoppage, and I hope they will be in agreement that a rematch is what's the word? Will be good compensation for for that occurrence.
Do you know if they are?
Do
you know if they're interested, or is it too soon?
Initially, I've gotten my manager has told me that Mick is interested in it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I love that idea. That's a tremendous idea, and you don't have to wait too long, right? That's in 3 months. So I think that makes a ton of sense. I'm wondering, in the cage or backstage, did Jason Herzog, the referee, speak to you about the call?
No.
What about
nobody talked to me?
No one? Nothing?
In the cage, when I right as he stopped it, I was looking at him like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then he started motioning to somebody on the outside, talking about I was getting hit, and he put his hands up like I was taking shots, and he put his hands up but I wasn't taking shots. But if I was taking shots, I was taking shots on my guard. He may have hit me. A few may have snuck in there, but they weren't he wasn't knocking me down. I was moving. You know what I mean? The knee. There was talks about how the knee had landed, but the knee had landed when he was going backwards. He threw. It was a switch knee. It wasn't like he was grounded and flung the knee up into my head. The knee didn't land hard at all. It didn't add to the compromised state I was in. So I was pushing him off. I was getting my space. I was getting ready to clinch him up and tie him up. And then the ref, I was swinging back, and we saw what happened. So no, I hadn't heard. No, nobody else has talked to me. I've only talked to my team. I talked to my manager who was in contact with the UFC, and so that's where I've been getting my information from. And of course, the internet is speaking as loudly as possible. So I'm glad that most of the world is on my side in regards to this being a bad stoppage. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Nassourdine wasted his call out trying to call out somebody who said he's going to wait.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he's going to need an opponent for Perry if he wants to fight in Perry. That's one. I'm the one. I'm the one. He should be. You know what I mean. He's gonna have to face.
there's so much that I hate about all of this. I hate the stoppage. I hate the fact that you were robbed of money. And I hate the fact that no one spoke to you afterwards. At the very least, you deserve a conversation. You deserve an explanation. You mentioned the word accountability. There's zero accountability in this sport. You make a call like that, you grab your bag, you head to the airport, and that's it. And yeah, there's some mean tweets sent your way, but you're the one that has to deal with the actual ramifications, the monetary ramifications. I hate the fact that you don't have to face the music. Like the promoters, the manager, they all have to face the music, but the officials never get to face any music of any kind. They don't have to answer questions. They don't have to face the media. They don't have to do anything. Oh, you get some mean tweets, and that sucks. I'm sure it does suck, but come on. You deserve, at the very least, backstage, hey, this is what I was seeing. This is what I was thinking. This is what, I'll try to do better the next time. I am sorry. Something, if he feels that way. Did you see he tweeted something?
I did see the tweet, yeah.
And so we put it up before. It seems he wrote, I get it. I know what I was seeing in the moment, but I've gotten enough feedback telling me I need to reevaluate, so I will. Your thoughts on the tweet?
It sounds like reluctance to be accountable. It sounds. I sense a little bit of reluctance in that post, but also willingness to hear all the people barking in his ears. I mean, I guess you can't ignore it when the world is as upset as they are. But that thing, I think that's due to pressure. If nobody else was saying anything, he like you said, he would have just flown on home and then went on to the next one. So I don't want to sit here and trash Jason Herzog. He's one of the best referees in the game, but he definitely made a big mistake in this regard. It was a huge mistake, a grave mistake. You know what I mean? Especially as far as I'm concerned. And again, I don't know. I doubt they think about this. No, this is my career. My career was pretty much in his hands, and he decided that, you know what I mean, it ain't worth fighting for. But this is a fight. You know what I mean? I think a lot of these wrestlers need to understand that we're going to get hit. Sometimes we're going to get rocked. But when we're intelligently defending ourselves, like they always say, step aside and let this thing happen. When there's a clear and concise reason for you to step in, like my hands are down and I'm just getting hit over and over. Not my hands are up and he's hitting me on the guard and I'm swinging back. That's not the time to step in. So I don't know, maybe some emotional desensitization should be had, some training should be had, so they don't get super excited in these moments. I don't know. But yes, I think that could be done. I think his response or that post could be due to social pressure as opposed to a sense of, oh, damn, I fucked up. I feel bad for this guy. I need to do something to make things right. It didn't really feel like that. So I don't even know what to do with that post outside of take it as, hey, man, that's somewhat, I can take it as somewhat of an admission of fault, if you will. And at least he's willing to hear, and hopefully he won't make this mistake again. But, what's done is done. I'm still here with one check in hand, another loss on my record. The momentum gone. My position in the rankings could be gone. The road to the title, you know what I mean, could be. Anyway, you know what I mean? Everybody's talking about this is my last shot at the title, but I think that's crazy talk. I'm not done. I'm still here. We're going to go back to work, and I'm still going to, these people still got to deal with me. So hopefully the next opponent will be Nassourdine Imavov if he wants it back. Because I want that fight back. You know what I mean? I gotta do something. We have to do something to make that right.
Right.
That fight isn't finished. So for me, that should be the next thing. So yeah, that's what we're going to be fighting for.
I saw some people point to the fact that at one point you turned your back and tried to evade him, run away, whatever. Do you regret doing that? Do you wish you didn't do that? Do you think that that's part of the reason why he made the call?
I think I was trying to move away from my opponent so I don't continue taking shots that he so-called says that he saw. You know what I mean? You're supposed to create distance. I didn't just run away. I created, I was off balance. You know, he hit me and I was off balance, so I had to move away. I can't just sit there in that state and just stand straight up in front of this guy and continue him being in position, being in that boxing range. So I had to create some distance and move away. It wasn't like I was stumbling away or anything. You know what I mean? I was moving away intelligently. Do I regret? No, I don't regret turning my back to move away, create space so I can get some ground, so I can stand my ground like I did. Same thing happened in the when I fought Vettori. In the beginning of that Vettori fight, he hit me, so I got some space. Yeah, I got my back up against the fence, and he kept the pressure on. And then I was able to recollect myself. And had it been Herzog in that fight and seen me moving away, and then Vettori putting his pressure on, if he would have stopped that fight in the first round, that wouldn't have been me going on to a record-breaking performance, fight of the night performance. You know what I mean? Or maybe he would have stopped it when I was beating the crap out of Vettori, and I wouldn't have had that performance. So no, I don't think that is I don't think that's. If I would have ran away and then not thrown anything back, that's another story. You know what I mean? If I would have run away and just covered up, no, I ran away. I was ready to start hand fighting. I was ready to clinch up with this man. I pushed him off when he threw that knee. I got some more space. He approached me again. I threw a right hook. I covered up so I don't go take any more shots, and then the ref stepped in. That's how that happened. It wasn't me running away from my opponent. How can you run away from somebody in the cage when a locked octagon? No. Create space, create distance, be smart, be safe, and then continue the fight. So that's what I was doing. I don't care what everybody else says. That shouldn't even affect the judging. That shouldn't affect the ref. The ref should see, is he intelligently defending himself? Because we've seen guys fight where they move around throughout the whole fight and the ref doesn't say anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll say, hey, you need to engage, but I wasn't like running away from the engagement. Yeah. I was creating space so I can stay safe. And then he re-engaged and we engaged multiple times during my compromised state. So that's not running away. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in a compromised state, I'm still here fighting. And that's what I was doing. So, bad call on the ref.
Yes.
Very bad call.
Have you ever had any issues with Jason in the past? Not so much like beef or anything, but like where you felt like he didn't, make this right? This, like, have you ever had any interactions with him?
No, I don't even think he's cornered me or not cornered, ref any of my fights. If he has, I can't remember.
Okay.
But no, I haven't. But I think as with any ref, these things happen. It was a human error, I feel.
Yeah.
These things happen, when you're in the mix and it's a high intense moment. These things happen. It's unfortunate, but it's still no excuse that, it's still no excuse that I should have to live with it, So to make it right, a rematch in Paris, I think that'll bring some more eyes to the fight, eyes to that card. It'll be good for me. I don't think Nassourdine would agree, but I don't care what he thinks. I'm sure he wants to go on to his title. He wants to fight Sean Strickland and avenge that loss, but he didn't win that fight. You know what I mean? That last sequence was me versus Nassourdine versus Jason Herzog, and Jason Herzog got the finish in that fight, not Nassourdine. Yeah. So if he wants to get that finish, he wants to be the one to say he finished the Killer Gorilla and actually finish me, then let's do that rematch in Paris. I'll go to your backyard and we can make it happen, So that's what I'm going to be. That's what I would like to have happen,
And I'm sure a relatively quick turnaround would be good for you because you've been out for a year. How difficult was this past year for you, not being able to compete, not being able to earn, your fight purse?
It wasn't easy at all. When I initially got the injury, it was a big opportunity on my plate that was taken away from me because of the injury. On top of that, the fight that I already had scheduled was taken away from me because of the injury. It had, and it just put a gap in between that competition, you know. And my UFC career has been marred with injuries, like, you know what I mean. That's been putting these big gaps in my career. And still, I come back, and I come back strong, and I come back better. So, as unfortunate as this camp has been, this last year has been for me and my family, I'm still here, and I'm still trying to get what I want out of this career. Yes, I would definitely like a quicker turnaround. September will be perfect. You know what I mean? Get back. I'm back in Phoenix. I'm ready to get back into the gym. It's got to be. They gave me the 30 days, but I think I'm good to go. You know, I'm ready to get back to training, ready to get back to getting better, ready to get back to getting prepared for this high level competitive matches. And I'm going to be training to make these matches non-competitive, you know? So I realized, you know, in being gone, I realized there's some things that I still need to work on, some steam that I may have lost in that whole year off. But, you know, dude wasn't dogging me in that fight. You know, everybody, you know, dude wasn't handling me in that fight. So, yeah, you know, I'm ready to get back in there. I don't want to wait another 6 months. I certainly don't want to get injured again. But yeah, I would really like a quick turnaround for this one.
Well, I hope you get that. And I can't imagine how upset you are. I mean, just seeing you talk about it, you're pretty mild-mannered. I could see how mad you are. I can't imagine what you were feeling on Saturday night. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about it. Do you feel like you got everything off your chest, or was there anything else that you wanted to say about this? I wanted to give you that opportunity.
I mean, I think I said everything. You know, considering how hard the camp was, losing the fight in that regard, losing all that opportunity, losing that made it even worse for me. And you know, this is something I'm going to have to live with, something I got to deal with on a daily basis, something I got to try to recover from. And hopefully the promotion is going to have my back, have my side in this regard, and try to make that rematch in Paris. I don't want to say if they don't, but I would definitely. I'm still here at the top. You know, I'm still one of the best in the division, and I'm going to continue to show that. So my next fight, you know, better watch out, because I'm going to be gunning for some, be trying to body snatch some people out there. So Nassourdine better hope it's not him, because it ain't gonna go good for him.
Thank you, Jared. Really sorry this happened, but appreciate you coming on, and hope you get that fight in September in Paris.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I do appreciate you letting me come on and,
of course,
and speak my heart and speak my mind and try to get some of this stuff off of my chest.
Of course, anytime. Good luck to you. Thank you.
All right, brother. You too.
All right. There he is, Jared Cannonier, joining us, a very upset and understandably so, upset Jared Cannonier after what was taken from him. And I hate the fact that he's on that show in mono. That thing needs to go. You main event for the UFC. I mean, this is such an archaic structure. 2007, 2006, 2005. Like, that's when it was apropos. No more, especially not for a guy like him who shows up, who fights, who's been a title contender. So that ended the Louisville card on a very sour note. It would have been great if it, in some respects, as far as the vibes are concerned, it would have been great if it ended after the co-main event, because what a scene it was, as Dominick Reyes, one of the most beloved fighters on the roster, got his first win since 2019, a stretch where I thought his last win should have been in February of 2020 against John Jones. And then there was all kinds of things that happened since, bad luck and injuries and whatnot. Great to see him back in the winner's circle, and great to see him with an emphatic, dominant win. He's kind enough to join us right now, and I can't imagine how he's feeling on this Monday morning over in California. Dominick, congratulations, my man. It's been a while since you had a Monday morning where you could celebrate a win, right? Almost 5 years come October. Can you describe what it feels like to wake up on a Monday coming off a win off a Saturday?
No, man. I'm just blessed, man. I'm grateful and blessed. That's where I'm at right now. It's been a long journey, as you all know. And it's hard to stay the course, but I trusted in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I have my team and my family around me, and I just stayed the course, man. I never gave up on myself. I just kept fighting, kept training, kept getting better. And here I am, man, back in the winner's circle, 2-year layoff and from fighting. And it's like I'd never left, you know?
Was there ever a point in your life where you thought you'd never feel this feeling again?
Yeah, especially in January when I had the DVT, the deep vein thrombosis, and just waking up every day was a gift, you know? Fighting, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to fight again, let alone win again. So, yeah, it crossed my mind a few times, but once I got into camp, once I started working and moving, and I knew I got it back.
So for those that just look at your, your record and they see the layoff and they see the trials and tribulations, it's like, oh wow, this is big. But then when they learn about your health issues, deep vein thrombosis. Yeah.
Yep.
You were dealing with blood clots. I'm not a doctor. I'll be the first to say. Can you explain what exactly that was that you were dealing with?
So it's blood clots below my knee. They happened because I was sparring, took a knee in the thigh. We both threw a kick, and it developed a hematoma near the bone. I got a massage, and that hematoma broke off. And when the blood came back to my heart, it got stuck in the veins. So it never made it to my heart, but it cut off the circulation to my leg, basically. So every time I would stand up, all my veins would get really hard and pulsating, and it would hurt really bad. So I was unable to really stand for a month, and I was unable to train for January, February, March at all. Like I couldn't do anything. And then I got into camp April, and then here I am. And then last year I had a labrum surgery in February, and that's 6 months for that. So yeah, I've been going through it, man. It's not been easy at all. It's not easy for anybody in America right now, man. But we got to keep going, you know.
What allowed you to keep going? Like, why didn't you quit? Why didn't you say, forget this and let me go do something else?
Because I love it, dude. This is who I am. I love fighting. It's not who I am, but man, I love this. It's fighting, winning, competing at the highest level. It's been my lifelong journey. I'm not just going to give up on it because a few things have happened. I know people could say whatever or look at my record, whatever, but I lost to the best guys in the world. This is UFC, man. Like, we're not fighting slouches. I was undefeated up until after John, whatever the heck, however you want to slice it. But I was undefeated, and my losses happened in front of the whole world. So everybody's a lot more critical of me. You know, I didn't show up to the UFC with a 12-4 record. You know, I showed up 5-0. You know, but like, I built my whole record in the UFC, everything, and when it didn't go my way, the world was able to criticize me pretty harshly. And I lost my way though, you know, like I was looking for something I already had. I thought I needed to do more after the Jones fight. I felt like I could have given more somehow, when in reality, I gave everything I had and then some. And it took a lot from me. And I was searching for more, and I lost my way looking for something that wasn't there. You know, and now I'm back home. I'm back training at Cobra Kai. I'm back training with Joe Stevenson. I'm back training with Naiche Pena and my brother and Michael Jazin. You know, I'm sparring with Curtis Blades again. I'm sparring with Jared Vandera. You know, I'm working with local up-and-coming guys over here that are extremely talented. You know, and it's I used to think it was like, oh, I need to go to a bigger gym and work with better guys. And it's like, that's not always the case. You got to do focused work for you. What works for you, man, not going out there and searching for something that you already have.
Did someone help you figure that out, or did you figure it out on your own?
So who are my last couple of opponents? They helped me out. That's the only way to learn, man, in this industry, you know, by losing fights and getting those real wake-up calls and those reality checks. Like, hey, man, you're not doing something right. This is not how you fight. You're making some serious mistakes here. What do you got to do to get back to you? what makes you special, and going to work with Glover and Alex and them. Yeah, they're great fighters and everything, but they don't know what makes me special, truly, right? They weren't there in the beginning. They don't know my entire journey. They have not seen me come up from a little guy to who I am now, so it's hard for them to help improve my skills when they don't really know me. You know what I mean? So I went back home to my guys and my team, and they're like, dude, you got to get back to your movement. You got to get back to your athleticism. You got to get back to being the best athlete in the division and the best striker, like the fastest, the best. You get back to you, man. Come on. And yeah, here I am.
Going back to your original team, Joe Stevenson and all those guys, was that a hard conversation to have? Was it, was it uncomfortable?
I had to humble myself, right? I had to come in and say, listen, I made a mistake. Would you guys be willing to take me back? I went around searching for things that I thought I needed, but I actually didn't, and it's all love, man. It's all love, really, truly.
Wow. It does feel like you are, even when hearing you speak, it does feel like you are filled with a lot of love, a lot of gratitude, a lot of appreciation. Clearly religion is a big part of your life. Have you always been this way, or is this a new sort of chapter in your life?
Well, I've always been a Catholic, but never like this. I mean, not as much belief. I mean, belief, but not like, I don't know how to explain it, man. Like you go deep into where the devil's really trying to pull you in, and you can either go with him or you could look to the light. And that's kind of what I did.
Wow. And again, I'm just curious, did you do this all on your own, or did someone help guide you to that light?
So it's been, Joe Stevenson has been a big help. My fiance has been a great grounding presence in my life. And then also it's been mostly by myself.
Wow.
Like just soul searching and realizing I'm not doing something right, man. I just didn't feel right. I wasn't feeling happy. I wasn't feeling complete. And then I started reading scriptures. I started seeing, Jesus had it way worse than I did, man. And like, what am I complaining about? Just be grateful.
Did you deal with depression?
I feel like we all kind of deal with depression at some level. But yeah, for sure. It's definitely depressing to get knocked out at Madison Square Garden in front of the whole world, and not get to perform. It was my biggest problem was I didn't perform that night. And I came out in the octagon not having a real plan and not really sure of what I needed to do that night. And I was, gross. And I paid for it. So yeah, depression's real, but there's a way out. You lean on the Lord, lean on your family. A big thing I did too was I stopped trying to be like a macho. Like they asked me how I'm doing. Oh, I'm fine. Hey man, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm not fine. Really, in reality, you're not fine. So then I started opening up to people and trusting people with me being vulnerable, and like, I don't have to be this warrior all the time. Like I'm a human being, like we go through things, and I was able to open up to my family and my friends and my fiance and Joe and everyone. And they're there for me. They showed me that they're there for me. They're not going to judge me. They're not going to try to put me down. They're not going to make me feel like crap. They're going to do everything they can to help me get back to feeling good about myself again.
What was Saturday like for you? And at the hotel, at the arena, the walk, what were the emotions? What were the nerves like?
So yeah, there's always a lot of nerves. It's UFC, anything can happen. But honestly, the warm-up was probably the best warm-up I've ever done, where everything was just, I got dialed in within like 3 minutes of warming up, where my range was dialed in, my speed. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I got the perfect sweat backstage, and it was all effortless. Backstage was effortless. Being at the arena was amazing. The UFC staff was like it felt like everyone was rooting for me. Everywhere I went the entire week. Every single person I met, every single person who saw me, it really felt like they were in my corner. It really felt like everybody, it's a weird thing to say, but it felt like people wanted me to win more than I wanted to win.
Wow.
But I wanted to win, obviously. But like, it's still, everybody was so much support, from servers to just people on the street to anybody we came in contact with. It was nothing but positive vibes, and it was great. And especially on fight night, everybody was just so awesome, man. Like, it was the perfect storm. And I was so excited and honored to be a part of the organization, and then to go out there and just do what I did, man. Wow. Just wow.
It's amazing when the whole community, which at time could be divisive, is all pulling for one person. And that's really what it felt going into it. And then in the aftermath, seeing how happy people were for you, and knowing how spiritual you are, and, how you're in touch with everything that's going on, your emotion, fighting in the same venue. I heard you talk about this, where Muhammad Ali had his funeral, and also the Muhammad Ali Center that you got to visit in Louisville, which I know is a great facility. What did that do for your spirituality? What did that do to you as you were about to compete?
I took so much energy from that, so much power from that, going to the Muhammad Ali Center, and learning about his entire journey, the way he viewed the world, what he did to change the world. I got to see the first ever professional contract from a boxer. It was $1 million a year with expenses included, which was an insane amount of money in the 60s, right? I got to see everything. They told me that his final, when they did it, so the last arena his body was ever in was the last arena I fought in as well. And that was a huge, huge, like, honor for me. Like, wow, I get to fight here, man. Like, and my fighting style is, I like to believe it's similar to his. I'm very, I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Like, that's kind of how it is, how I fight. And everything just lined up, man. Everything lined up. It's the 24th year, 2024. My number has always been 24. Everything lined up. It all lined up. I'm so blessed. It's insane. And then I didn't get the bonus that night, which was a little bit disappointing. But I recently talked to Dana, and I got the bonus now. So.
Oh, wow. Did you campaign
for it? It's
for
really,
it?
really awesome.
How did that go down?
I messaged him, and we talked, and he said, "Yeah, man, you absolutely deserve it." So now I got the bonus.
Amazing! Congratulations.
Yeah.
When you
he wasn't there that night,
Yeah.
so it's hard to like say what happened that night and what it felt like in the arena. Because if you were in the arena,
yeah,
I was the performance of the night. Like, I'll never forget how loud it was that night, man. Wow. Like, I can still feel it. I can still feel it going through my body, the energy of all those people. And yeah, so I didn't originally get the bonus awarded because there were some amazing knockouts, some amazing knockouts. But I did knock him out in 2 minutes after everything I've been through. He's a high-level kickboxer, and I knocked him out. And that, by the way, nothing but respect to Dustin Jacoby, man. He's a heck of a competitor, man. And he showed up ready to go. And thank you for that, Dustin.
When you felt a little bit of his power, was that a relief that you were,
Yes. Yes, for sure. I hate to say it, but I had the same questions as almost all you did, Do I still have a chin, Do I still have my ability to fight the way I know how to fight? The same questions I'm sure the haters were asking and saying was kind of the same questions I had within myself. But then when he hit me pretty good, and I was like, I kind of like grinned, and I'm like, oh yeah, I still got it, baby. Let's go. Yeah. And I think when I grinned at him, that's when I made him mad, and he like rushed me. He hit me, and then we moved a little bit, and I grinned at him, and then he rushed me, and then I caught him. But yeah, man, you really couldn't ask for a better night ever. I've had nights similar, and you can't ask for a better situation.
Going through all of this over the past 4 or so years, did it affect your love for the sport? Were you in need of a break from the sport, not watch the sport, not consumed by the sport because things weren't going your way within the sport?
It wasn't my love for the sport. It was my love for the fans, the reaction that people were having. It almost felt like I wasn't just getting buried. It wasn't that I was like getting buried. It was like they were trying to like stomp me into the ground, like I could never return. Like
you felt that.
It felt like
the same people that you feel like were rooting for you this weekend.
Yeah,
were trying to kill you leading in the years leading up to this.
Yeah, somewhat. Like I don't know. I just lost love for the whole thing. I really did, because I went from being a fighter that people would root for to a guy that they wanted to see suffer, and that's a tough thing, because not only just lose, they wanted to see me suffer, which was rough. And that's really, my faith really helped with that. It really, really did. Because like I said, Jesus really suffered. And I got no complaints. It was very small compared to what he went through.
Is this as simple as like the win or races, all of that? Or is that not fair to what you've just been through over the past 4 years?
The win of what? I'm sorry.
Like, in your mind, does the win or race kind of like wash away what you've been through, or is that not fair? Is that too simple?
No, I don't hold on to any of that stuff, to be honest with you, man. I am where I am right now, and that's all I know. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Yesterday doesn't matter, and here I am today. So yeah, I guess it is all washed, I guess you could say, but I don't hold any grudges or any hate in my heart at all. You can't hold hate in your heart. It's not. You're gonna be very unhappy if you hold hate in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any grudges or hate or nothing like that. I'm just happy and grateful. And I wasn't here addressing haters and all that things. Like, I'm not gonna give them power. I'm not gonna be here on Instagram fighting every single person. I just ignore it, man, and continue on my path. And then when I do what I do and I can shine my light on the world, the light of the Lord, then it is what it is. You can hate on me all you want, but I'm here living my life. I'm happy. I'm happy. That's just the bottom line.
And so you mentioned Alex Pereira. You trained with him for a bit. He is the champion of your weight class now.
Yep.
How far away do you think you are from Alex Pereira? How far away do you think you are from that discussion?
I don't know. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just enjoying this, and then the next fight, and then the next fight, and then we'll see.
Okay, fair enough.
It's one of those things where, like, there's no point in reaching to that right now. I mean, that's always the goal, to be champ. Always the goal to be a champ. I'm not here to just fight and that's it. I'm here to be champ, yes, but I'm not there yet. So let's continue to win, continue to put it together, and then we'll get there. If he's champ, that's cool. If not, then not. But he is a friend of mine, and best case, we don't fight each other. But if we have to, we have to. But I have nothing but respect for Alex and Glover and everybody in my division, to be 100% honest with you, man. I have a lot of respect for the division. Everybody here this is no joke fighting at light heavyweight, man. Like, people like to talk crap about our division, but they don't know what kind of dangers we're dealing with. All divisions are dangerous. Don't get me wrong, respect. But we're a little bigger than everyone else, except for the heavyweights, but they fight it different than we do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
by the way, the dirt
it's all
biking,
love, man. It's all love.
It's all love.
To everyone.
I love it. And
all love to everyone and everybody.
I appreciate
Be great, do great things.
I appreciate that very much.
That's the biggest takeaway.
That is a great message. I see the dirt biking. I see you snowboarding through shipping containers. Man, oh man, you're not just like chilling out over there. That, like, the dirt bike in particular, the footage that you posted, like, you are like one little. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're showing some of it now. Like, one move to the left or right. Are you falling off a cliff over there? It seems very narrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, what is going on here?
That's
this is
fighting,
crazy.
man. It's the same in fighting. One mistake, one way or another, and it's over, right?
That's true.
So, got to get those adrenaline rushes in, and it keeps me sharp. It keeps my heart going. It makes me happy. I've met a whole new group of people doing enduro style dirt biking, because I don't just ride, like putter around as you see in the video. I get after it, man. We're going. I'm doing 200 miles a day. You know, we're mobbing, bro. Climbing cliffs, going down valleys, crossing rivers, and it's been amazing, man. Great people that I'm working with, professionals that have helped me get better. Mason Klein, who does the Dakar Rally, he won a stage. He's the youngest ever stage winner in the Dakar Rally. He's a really good friend of mine. We ride all the time. Like, you got to find things outside of fighting that make you happy, man, because this sport is so unforgiving. And one win, one loss, you know, you lose, all of a sudden you put that guy in the grave. He's done. You know, you win, all of a sudden, oh, title run. You know, so it's like, just enjoy the time you have. Enjoy every fight. Enjoy every moment. Be kind to everybody you interact with. Treat people with respect and dignity. And let's make this world a better place, man. Let's stop trying to take from each other and stop trying to just be shitty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Love each other.
Do you have like a time frame? Okay, you have some time that you need to catch up on when you want to return. Do you want to come back in a few months? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I need to get with my team and really map it out, you know, exactly how we want to do it. But I'm thinking, I want to fight one more time this year. So it could be any time till the end of the year, at least one more. But yeah, I mentioned the spear in my post-fight interview.
Yeah.
That would be cool. The spear, sorry, not the spear, the spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. You know, a historic event. But if not, you know, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Obviously, I want to fight somewhere where there's a crowd, because that's literally one of the best parts of fighting.
Yeah, for sure.
And just keep spreading love, man. That's my goal. That's my purpose right now.
Two last quick things. As far as the blood clots, how did you conquer that? Is it just through medication?
Yeah, I was on blood thinners for 3 months. And
Okay.
blood thinners, I don't know if you know, like really mess with your body and stuff. So that was tough to get back into training. Because you think I got off blood thinners in March, and then April, May, and I fought in June.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was a lot of self-belief, a lot of hard work in the dark. I worked a lot in the dark, man. I'd wake up in the middle of the night sometimes at 3 a.m. and hit the bag for an hour just because I felt like I needed to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like that? Or is this something that's happened recently?
No, it's recent.
Wow.
Like, just fully I literally burned the boats, like gave everything to this, everything I have. No, from the water I drank to everything I ate. Like, I even have this phrase I say, like, when I drink anything else, even water, regular water, I'll be like, man, I can taste the chemicals, man. What is this? Because I could taste the chemicals now. Like, because it's crazy how much chemicals are in everything. It's like they're trying to kill us. I don't know what's going on here. But there's so many chemicals. And like, I'm like, I could taste the chemicals, because that's how clean and pure I've been for the last like year and a half.
Wow.
So yeah, man.
That is amazing. One last thing, I'm just curious, do you have, and it's all been positive and love, and I adore it. Just curious about your stance on all this John Jones, Tom Aspinall, and he doesn't want to fight. He wants to fight. You're so connected to him. What is your take on the current state of John?
I feel like I am very connected to John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupt you there, but yeah, he just wants to be known as the greatest of all time, man. That's the bottom line. He just wants, unequivocally, no questions, to be John Jones the greatest, you know, and he wants to be paid accordingly. He doesn't want to take crazy risks, right? Fighting Stipe, which is arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time. When we fight Stipe, I'm the greatest light heavyweight. He's the greatest heavyweight. Boom, now I'm the greatest heavyweight, right? That's kind of how it's going on. Tom is extremely dangerous. Tom is young in his championship career. What does really Tom have to offer John in terms of legacy right now, right? John's thinking, I only got 1 or 2 left. They got to be worth it. And he doesn't see Tom or Curtis as a long-standing champion. He sees them as right now, and he's not worried about right now. He's worried about forever.
Mm-hmm.
But forever, he'll be also known that he lost to me. But maybe we could figure that out one day.
You still believe that, right?
Oh yeah, it's not a belief; it's a fact. It's a difference.
Yeah. Do you ever do the sliding doors thing? You win that fight. Do you think the next 4 years are completely different?
I did that early on, and look where it got me.
Right.
You don't hold on to those things. You just keep moving forward, man. Doing that's just what is that gonna do for me, other than frustrate me or whatever?
Well, that shot when you won and you're kind of just like in the middle there, that is a framer, man. I don't know if you're a framer.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's
it will be framed. That's pure relief, pure gratification, pure thankfulness. All the best emotions you could ever imagine, all in one.
I love it. Well, so happy for you, Dominick. Really, congratulations. Enjoy everything that comes with it. Welcome back, and can't wait to see what this new version of you, turns into and what you accomplish. And congratulations on the recent engagement.
Thank you so much, Ariel. Have a great day, and thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, great to
talk to you. And one more thing.
Yes.
I'm not back. I'm better.
Amen.
There you go.
My apologies. Thank you, Dom. Appreciate it. There he is, Dominick Reyes. How great is that? Beautiful stuff. I feel like he's just filled with love and gratitude. It's a beautiful thing. What a fight on Saturday afternoon in Newcastle. We on Wednesday spoke to Savannah Marshall, the 2-division world champion, undisputed champion, Olympian. She has done great things in the sport of boxing, and now she crossed over to the sport of mixed martial arts with the Aspinalls in her corner. A wild affair in Newcastle, which she ultimately won, and I enjoyed it immensely. We talked about it at the beginning of the show, how fun it was, and the crowd was on fire, and it just seemed like a grand old time. And so had to have the now MMA veteran on the program, 1-0 in her MMA career. She is Savannah Marshall, kind enough to join us. How about that? MMA veteran now, Savannah. Has it sunk in?
No, not yet, but look, I'm alive, so I'm happy with that.
Amen. Congratulations. Why was not being alive a thought? Were you worried about whether or not you would survive on Saturday?
Oh, it was the unknown for me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was could have been going to the cage of hell, but no, look, I've come out unscathed, and I'm happy. I'm safe and sound.
On Wednesday, you seemed pretty relaxed, like you are now. I'm just curious, as the week progressed and you were about to walk into the unknown, how were you dealing with all of that?
I was just excited. I was really excited, but obviously in the back of my mind, it's not what I know. And although I've been doing it for 9 months, it's not like boxing where I've been doing it for 20 years. There's a big, there is that big, what's going to happen if I get to the floor? What's going to happen if I get in that I've been put in a choke, that sort of thing. What if I get kicked in the head? There's all these what ifs. But look, I was really excited, and I really enjoyed it.
I thought the promotion and what PFL did, like you guys doing the face-off at St. James's Park and just everything leading up to it, made it feel really big. Were you pleased with how they put everything together?
Oh, the PFL were great. Even for me, for my MMA debut, they really went to town. Like you said, going to St. James's Park, my football club, really, it was amazing. It really was. It was, and for them to take me to my home city and let me headline, what an opportunity for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, who really headlines on their debut?
We compare your MMA debut to your pro boxing debut. You couldn't even stick around to watch the headliner in your pro boxing debut. Here you are. So clearly MMA loves you more is the takeaway, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I really felt the love even from the MMA fans, the other MMA fighters. It was just a brilliant event, a brilliant week.
Okay, and so the fight happens. We get to Saturday, and rather quickly, you do find yourself on the ground. What are the thoughts going through your mind?
Before, when I was in the change rooms, Tom Aspinall said to me, look, it's not like boxing. The start fast. They start really fast. In boxing, you can go out there, you feel your range, get your jab going, 3 rounds in, pick up the pace. It was like, no, there's none of that. It starts fast, and wow, I knew they started fast, but not that fast. Straight away, buckled me with a leg kick. It was just so intense and so fast paced. It was, I mean, even when I got out the cage, I was sat in medical getting me check over. And I just had to sit and give myself a minute and think, what on earth has just happened? Seriously, it was just, they were talking about me being in the head and arm, and I thought, head and arm, have I? It was just so quick before I knew it. I was up, and then I was back on the floor, and then she had me in a, like you said, a head and arm, and then I was back up, and it was just, honestly, the adrenaline and the buzz, it was just crazy.
At any point, did you panic?
I don't think I had a chance to panic.
Okay.
It was like, just literally the way I can describe is fight or flight. It was literally kill or be killed. That's how it felt for me.
And just curious, how did you feel about, obviously, the extra time in the round, right? Normally, you're fighting 2-minute rounds. Here, you finish the fight 4.5 minutes into the first round. How did you feel going those extra 2 minutes with everything else going on, right? Up, down, kicks, all that stuff.
To be honest, I felt quite fit. It wasn't really the time in that really panicked me or anything like that. But I do remember thinking, right, she took me down twice. And I remember takedowns override punches. I remember thinking, she's won this round. So I don't want to be going into the next round a round down. And at this point, I knew I'd hurt her. So I just remember thinking, I'll just finish it. Just try and finish her. And I become a bit of an animal. And then before you know it, the ref had jumped in. And I thought, oh, thank God for that.
So I'm happy that you say that because, boxers, when it comes to the boxing part of MMA, you're so technical and you're so tight. And even you go into the body, it is very different than your typical MMA fighter. But, and I wonder if you will agree or disagree with me, there were some times where it wasn't like the crisp technical Savannah Marshall out there kind of swinging for the fences. And so what is your assessment? And I'm trying to be kind here because who the hell am I to be critical of your striking? But at times I was like, oh, wow, like you kind of look like an MMA fighter, if you get what I'm saying out there. And so what is your assessment of how you looked out there?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Literally, it's like kill or be killed.
Yeah.
That is all I can describe it as. I think that all technique just went out the window. Honestly, it was just an out of body like experience. And the thing that I was disappointed with is that over the past 9 months, I've spent a lot of hard work on trying to change my boxing stance, change my boxing technique to suit an MMA. But I did feel like straight away, as soon as she swiped my leg, instinct took in, and I felt like I started to go back a little bit into my boxing stance. I kind of went a bit more on the side, my leg turning in, that sort of thing. But one thing I was happy with was when I was on the ground, being to remember what I've been taught of, like, how to get back up, get your knees in, pushing them away, that sort of thing. But yeah, it was just a case of, look, I've got a red, just go for it.
Some boxers are critical of how MMA fighters strike and how they may look sloppy out there. Now I would imagine you kind of understand why sometimes it doesn't look as technical as the sweet science, right?
I just think just the pace. The pace was just so... I don't know if it was because I was a little bit eager, I was a little bit nervous. Morella maybe the same. Maybe she's just thought, I'm just going to jump on her, I'm just going to smash her front leg. I'm just going to take her places she's never been before. But it was just so intense. Like it was like I just didn't have a chance to settle.
Mm. And what about the crowd? What did you take from them? Like, were you feeding off of them because they were very much in your favor?
Apart from the ring walk, getting in there, and as soon as the bell went, I just didn't hear.
Okay, fair enough.
I remember being in the head and arm and hearing Andy say, "Get to your side," and that was all really what I heard.
Okay. Have you rewatched the broadcast?
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen little clips.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Are you the type that likes to rewatch your fights?
No, I don't, because in my head, I think I'm a lot better than actually what I am, if that makes sense. So when I watch it back, I'm really self-critical and I put myself down a lot. So I like to I like to believe my own head a little bit, but it takes me a while. It takes me a while to watch them back.
You don't want to ruin the illusion of you being unbelievable. So yeah, why don't you just have the vision in your mind, the one that you want to believe? The reason I asked that was because right before your fight, they had Claressa Shields in the sort of like preview spot with Dan Hardy and Sean O'Connell. And, I know there's a rivalry there, but, she was kind of saying, oh, you matched me with tougher opponents. And Dan had to tell her, I didn't match you. That's someone else that does that. And, she was clearly there to be a part of it, but it didn't feel like she was rooting you on, so to speak. And I know there's a history there. And then she gets in the cage afterwards and there's a little bit of tension as well. What did you make of her vibe, what she was saying and how she was acting? I know you didn't see the stuff before, but then once you won the fight and then she got in the cage.
I think that there's respect there, but I think deep down there's still that little bit of like needle, not even from her side, but even mine as well. There's little sly digs all the time. But even that comment there, I totally disagree. I remember Claressa's first opponent didn't even throw a punch. She didn't do anything. Whereas I feel like Mirella Vargas, hats off to her. Fair play, because that girl who turned up was not the girl that I've spent 3 months watching on YouTube. It was the best version of her I've ever seen. I literally wasn't expecting that. But like I said to you on Wednesday, I probably was her golden ticket. She beats me. She got offered a contract with a PFL. But fair play where she really turned up.
In the cage afterwards, Claressa getting in there, the face-off, all that stuff, were you okay with that? Some fighters don't like that because they want it to just be about what they just accomplished. Some like the sort of foreshadowing of a potential big thing down the line. How did you feel about it?
Look, it is what it is. The whole reason why PFL have signed me is for a potential matchup with Claressa. So look, I'm okay with that. I'm not stupid. I'm not fooled by the illusion that they want me for, me MMA skills. They want me for a potential matchup with her. So look, I'm okay about this. I'm okay about the build-up. And that doesn't bother me that she was sat there, ripping me, because that is Claressa in full Claressa mode.
To be fair to you, though, it was a highly entertaining fight. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing more of those fights, you versus Claressa or not, you versus random other people. It was all action. It was very fun. That being said, do you think the move is you versus Claressa next?
I'm not too sure. I think it'll be a case of, I know she's fighting in July, but I think it'll be a case of giving it a few weeks, seeing what's next for me, whether it'll be in the boxing ring or in the cage, if it is big enough for me to fight her. If they want to give me another fight, a little bit more experience, I think these are the talks that have to be had in the next couple of weeks.
Let's say I was the PFL and I would ask you, Savannah, what do you want? What are you leaning towards? What would you say?
I'd like to get Claressa next. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that looking at ideal world, I'd like to have a couple more, but I understand that it's a business, and I wanna kind of ride that wave. I think, yeah, I showed that, look, I'm okay I can get up off the floor. I've still got to work on my stand up, adjusting to the whole defending kicks, that sort of thing, takedowns. I don't want to show too much of the stuff that I've been working on, because I never really had a chance to show it on Saturday. So yeah, I'm quite confident that I'd do Claressa in the cage. I really do.
Where would be the perfect venue for that fight, in your opinion?
Well, I remember the whole reason why. Well, one of the reasons why the boxing rematch never happened is because she wanted it in America. Obviously, my boxing coach couldn't enter America, where it's different now. Obviously, I'm with Andy Aspinall. So look, I don't mind if it's in the UK, if it's in America, if it's in Saudi. So that's not a blocker for a fight in the cage. I'd go anywhere.
I sort of feel like, and I feel like you would agree with this, I feel like it's the biggest fight possible in the UK, though, right?
In boxing?
Both.
Oh yeah, I really do. I really, really do. Obviously, she doesn't want to come to the UK because she didn't get the nicest of receptions last time. And she's saying, look, it's fair. Yeah, I've come to your backyard. You come to my backyard. And I get it. And look, I'm open to it. I'm really open to it.
The experience with the Aspinalls, I know we spoke about it a little bit on Wednesday, but now you've gone through the whole experience with them, the whole fight with them. Were you pleased with them in your corner? Having another a new head coach, so to speak, and Tom in there as well. It was so great to see him and how happy he was for you afterwards. I'm assuming based on your comment just now, you're going to continue with them?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like I said, I've known the whole family for a number of years now. And obviously that trust's there. And I think that's not something that grows overnight. It's been built over time. Obviously, I've had a great 9 months. And yeah, I'm going to continue with Team Aspinall.
If you were, to be asked what you want to do, is there a case to be made that now you're on this train, it would sort of derail whatever improvements you make in MMA if you go take a boxing fight and then you come back to MMA? Like, it would almost be better for your career and progression here if you just stick with this chapter and do a couple of MMA fights as opposed to going back and forth.
I do agree with that. From, like I said, on Saturday, as soon as I got into deep waters, for me, I resorted back to what I knew best was my boxing stance, that sort of thing. And like I said, I felt like I'd worked so hard over 9 months to try and change that. So I do agree with what you're saying. But obviously, if a big opportunity comes up for me in boxing, I'm going to take it because it's my heart. It's what I love really, predominantly over MMA.
Is this though kind of like the shiny new toy in your life? And it brings out different feelings and emotions and different kind of excitement and buzz?
Yeah, it does. It really does. Like I said, that getting out that cage on Saturday, like I said, sat in that medical room and thinking, what on earth has just happened? Like, that feeling is something I've never experienced before. And it was just, all I can describe it as, it was bizarre, but it was a nice bizarre.
Yeah, like a different kind of high. Almost like you were in a relationship for 20 years and all of a sudden you have this like new person in your life and you're like, oh, this is different. This is nice.
It is different. Something I'm not used to. It's a nice change.
Yeah. By the way, I thought the touch of having Adam Smith call the fight, I know you said you didn't watch it totally. I thought that was really, really cool for a long time. Boxing fans, maybe the MMA fans weren't as familiar of a legendary broadcaster. I thought the sit down between you two was great. And then him doing the post-fight interview, I thought was a really nice touch as well. What were your feelings about the PFL? He doesn't work for the PFL. That was the first time I think he's ever called an MMA fight, if I'm not mistaken. Just having him there because he's called so many of your fights.
Yeah, it was really nice. I've known Adam now for about 15 years.
Wow.
And at one point, he was my Sky Scholar for Sky Sports. So he was my mentor. So I've got a really long-standing relationship with Adam. Obviously, he commentated me versus Claressa. And it was a nice touch to have him there and experience, and even admit to him myself. But that was the first time he'd ever commentated on MMA. So it's bringing a whole new audience as well. Not just MMA fans, but I'm quite happy and delighted that I've brought a couple of boxing fans over to the MMA world.
For sure. By the way, what is a Sky Scholar?
Oh, so basically you've got Sky Sports, the broadcaster,
yeah,
and they had a program for the Olympic Games where they kind of took young athletes that were competing in the Olympic Games and they kind of mentored them.
Oh, wow.
And for the Olympic Games over 4 years, and Adam was my mentor.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know it was that deep, the relationship. Like, it went that far back.
Yeah.
Wow. And I could even tell when you watch it, you'll notice this if you watch it. Like, he seemed nervous. He actually, like, when you were walking out, he was saying how surreal it was to see you walk out for an MMA fight with the 4-ounce gloves. Like, he actually genuinely seemed nervous for you, which I thought was an actual cool touch because of the relationship that you guys have.
Oh yeah, 100%. But also Adam, my manager, Mick Hennessy, Peter Fury was there, and even all them saying, I just, like I said, it was like a different kind of, it was an unknown nervous because it was a situation I've never been in before. And they were all speaking, as soon as that first leg kick went in and my leg buckled and I went to the floor, To be honest, I think everyone thought, because I can punch, is it going to be a case of I go out there and me knocking her out in 10 seconds? But that wasn't the case at all. I found myself in a situation where, in the back of my mind, I did think, look, if she's got any sense, she will try and take me down because I'm a world champion boxer. And that is what she done.
Not once, but twice. And you got up both times. Well done.
Twice.
Yeah, very, very impressive. By the way, whose debut was better, you or Clarissa's?
Oh, come on, for entertainment value, mine.
Yeah.
And I got up off the floor. She just laid there like a starfish for 4 minutes.
Amazing. And by the way, Ben Shalom was there. Ben
Shalom, my promoter.
Yeah.
From Box was there as well.
There's no clause or anything that says you have to go back to, like, this is up to you, right? Whatever you do is your decision.
Yeah, obviously I've got the full support from Boxer, Ben Shalom, Sky Sports, which is great. They've really kind of supported me through this whole journey. So yeah, the options there, the option's mine.
Okay.
Really.
And are you hoping, whether it's MMA or boxing, to fight again this year?
I'd like to do both, but we'll have to just, I think within the next couple of weeks, talks are to be had, seeing what's next for me. Obviously, Clarissa's on her journey, and I think it's a case of, right, are we going to get on the same tracks here? If not, when can we? Let's start, aiming towards this rematch, whether it be in the boxing ring or the cage.
Okay. Well, I think that would be great. For now, though, congratulations on the win. Delighted for you, and it was really a fun thing to watch and witness in the crowd. It was in the perfect place and the perfect kind of fight from an entertainment standpoint. Obviously, I'm sure you wish that it wasn't as dramatic at times, but what a finish, what a roller coaster of emotions, and the aftermath was fun as well. So thank you again for coming on. Pleasure to have you, and congrats on your debut win.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me back.
Pleasure. There she is, Savannah Marshall, now 1-0 in mixed martial arts, and I know that Claressa would love to do this in the United States. I do feel, though, that the best venue for it, if you will, the best location, well, the best venue would probably be where they just had it in Newcastle, but the best location would be in the UK. It was a fun affair. Solid card, some solid results. PFL Europe 2, Newcastle. Jack Grant with a big-time win. Lewis McGrillen-Evans with a big-time win. What about Chanel Dyer with an incredible head kick KO win? That was one of the highlights of the night. So a little something for everyone over the weekend, like we said at the top of the show. And still to come, the big dog, Dustin Poirier, will join us in about 20 minutes' time, and then we'll round things out with one Marlon Chito Vera. So still a lot of goodness left on this beautiful Monday here in New York City. By the way, speaking of the PFL, they are back on Thursday. So circle it on the calendar. Thursday, June 13th. They're back this Thursday, and they're over at the beautiful Mohegan Sun. You've got Valentin Moldavsky and Linton Vassell meeting in a trilogy match. Each guy looking to secure their spot in the playoffs. And our good friend Dakota Dacheva, who's a great fighter, but maybe not the biggest Man City connoisseur, if you may recall, didn't do so well in our trivia. She takes on Chelsea Hackett in a clash of women's flyweights. The action kicks off over on ESPN and ESPN Plus, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus. And if you're looking to attend, you can get tickets over at Ticketmaster. There was some talk, if you recall. We had the thing with Dakota and at stake if she didn't fare well. I think the stipulation was if she got less than 7 right out of the 10 fairly easy trivia questions. The talk, I do believe, was that she would have to have Mysterious Frank as part of her entourage walking her to the cage. Yeah. Unfortunately, we do have some breaking news, Frank. After much discussion, after much deliberation, and at one point, me relaying to the team that I thought this was a done deal, it is access denied for...
Wait,
yeah.
What do you mean by that?
It apparently is not going to happen. And by the way, much respect to the good folks over at the PFL. They were very much on board. And I understand, people have their routine, they have their thing, and it's all well and good. And I did say to Dakota, like we were putting her on the spot there by just springing that upon her. So no harm, no foul. It's all good. Perhaps we revisit it down the line. But I think that I think it would have been fun. And it really would have been like a 10, 15 second thing. I think part of the problem was they wanted to know if you had a luchador mask in Man City colors. And I think that the answer to that was no. And so that turned them off just a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately. So how do you feel about this? Are you upset? Are you deflated?
I had another commitment that night.
Oh,
anyway.
you were busy.
Yeah. So
okay.
It was probably for the best.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking forward to it. But then we figured out that GC wouldn't be there. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't.
He might have pulled through at the last minute.
No, I was not going to be there.
Was there any FOMO?
No, none.
Zero?
None.
Frank walking Dakota Teixeira out brought you zero FOMO. That's
zero FOMO, but in my eyes,
I feel like that's
as we talked about this earlier, I thought I was going to be able to watch it on TV. I was going to be the guy that was, viewing everything from the crowd. I was going to be able to get all the social clips, everything like this, while you guys were there giving him the moral support.
You didn't want to be there?
I would have loved to be there. I just know that it couldn't have happened.
Prior commitments?
Prior commitments. Would not have been able to make it.
Frank, it might have been just you and I. I mean, Rick's under the weather here. I would have been your plus one.
I guess it would have been Thursday. Nah, I think Rick will be through by Thursday.
I think he's done now. He's just.
You think he's done?
Enjoying himself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could also be the case. Would you have been nervous, Frank?
No, not a shot.
It would have been a quick thing. In and out.
What was going to be the outfit beyond the luchador mask? Black hoodie, black pants, black shoes.
You know it. You got to wear the show blacks, man. You don't want to reflect all the lights. The light is Dakota and her team, not me.
What is show black? Like just like the cameramen who wear all black?
So like people in production wear all black to not reflect lights. We're supposed to not be seen.
So that's why.
You're supposed to know this.
That's why. What do you think I was like?
If you've ever worked in
1990s goth still up in here?
So that's why Rick is always wearing all black.
Yeah. There was a massive groan back here in the control room when you said you didn't know what it was.
Why?
I don't know.
I think because we work in production with you, and then there's a lot of, why is Frank asking what my 20 is? And what's a bio?
Well,
this is not from you. This is just the general...
I mean, I can play that same game, and I can ask you guys things and groan when you don't know them. So, like, what? I mean, is that the mentality? Is that? I mean,
no.
I don't know how to fix an iris. I don't know. I know how to white balance. I'll tell you that much.
Nice.
But we all have our roles. I thought that we all kind of came to that conclusion. No.
When he says groan, like.
No.
Audibly rolled our eyes.
No. He said what he said.
No, I heard a groan back here.
He said what he said.
It wasn't me groaning, but there was an audible groan for sure.
What about this news that I just see right here? Connecticut's Dan Hurley has turned down the Los Angeles Lakers' 6-year, $70 million offer and will return to chase a third straight national title. I mean, Dan Hurley, what a guy! $70 million.
I think UConn's probably offering him a pretty penny, making some promises. If
you think they're offering $70 million?
I don't know. They just signed Gino to like a 3-year, $20 million.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, by the way.
Oh, we just got a second groan here from one Casey Leiden
regarding
you not knowing which.
Listen, I've been to a gazillion UFC events. I see them all wearing black. Sometimes you ask questions for the sake of the program. Okay, let's not get all, hoity-toity. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, wow, I didn't realize it was such a.
This is what they like to do. Frank loves throwing out all this production terminology, and then I'm like,
10-4.
Yeah, and then he's just like, oh, it means to do this, and I'm just like, so why don't you just say that? And he's just like, well, then I wouldn't be speaking in production terminology. I'm gonna go strike the set.
Yeah.
Meaning he's just gonna take down a wreath or
pound
something.
for pound. You're not wrong.
There was one when we were talking about the live show that he said something, and I was like, what does that mean?
The Q to Q.
Q to Q.
Yeah, Q to Q.
All right, we're going to go ahead and do a Q to Q pre-show get-ready event. And you're just like, what does that mean? And he's like, rehearsal.
Yeah.
Why not just say that? Why not just say rehearsal?
Yeah, and why can't you just say rehearsal, Frank?
For the same reason. We have this thing about, where's my IFB? You mean an IAM, Ariel? No, I mean an IFB. Where's my IFB?
But legit, I've never heard IAM. I've heard people say, do you have your IFB?
I love it. All of this, I know that I've grown, but it's out of a place of, getting to have the jargon and banter about it.
And by the way, also,
let it off your chest.
What does IAM stand for? Because I'm actually
In-ear monitor. So IFB is the concept, interruptible foldback.
In-ear monitor would be IEM.
IEM. What did you think I said? Did I say IME?
You have been saying IAM.
No, IEM.
You've been saying IAM.
All right,
this
you know
whole time.
what?
I honestly thought you were dyslexic and you were bringing
Andy's
up
looking
AIM
at me, confirming
from-
that I
from
did say it
06.
incorrectly.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, well, it's on tape, so we know you said it.
I'm really embarrassed right now.
No, that's why I was confused.
Okay.
I know what an IEM is. I don't know what an IAM is.
What if Frank had improperly been using all this production terminology?
They're all slightly off.
Just slightly off, and that's why we didn't
It's
know
not
what
what
any
you're
of it means?
20. It's what you're 21.
Instead of saying, 10-1, like he's going to go to the bathroom, he says like 9-1, 11-1, something like that.
By the way, what does that mean? What's your 20?
Where are you?
Oh, Jesus.
My favorite that
Why
I've
can't you
never
just
heard
say, "Where
anyone
are you?"
say.
Why can't you just say where?
Nobody ever says, I'm going to take a 10-2.
What is a 10?
Even
nobody
though there's
wants-
definitely some 10-2s going on, especially at this place.
But no one
I
ever,
mean,
they're always
God.
like, I'm going to take a 10-1. I'll be back at 10 minutes.
What does that mean, 10-2, 10-1? A break?
10-1, 10-2. Both of them mean bathroom. You do the math on the.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
People say that? No way. People don't say that.
Wait till one day you're gonna get a 10-3.
No.
Oh, God.
I don't even know what that is. Is that
It's
vomiting?
code red if you get 10-3.
Wait. In the workplace, people say 10-2.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I've
10-1?
never heard anyone actually say 10-2, but it's implied.
No, there were a couple 10-2s thrown around when I was at ESPN.
Oh, wow.
Throw
No
the headphones
way.
down,
That's
10-2.
explicit.
No way.
I have to 10-2.
That's crazy. That is so embarrassing. Who says that? That is crazy.
Well, I mean, you can imply.
Just
even
say I
if
need to go to the bathroom.
All right. Well, I actually agree with that. I usually just say bathroom if I'm going to the bathroom.
Yes.
If you say 10-1 and then you're gone for 27 minutes, it's going to be like,
listen.
didn't Frank
You might need to
say,
see a doctor.
10-1?
Well, also the thing is, like, if you're gone for 27 minutes, people kind of know something's up, and then they hope, you
But
hope
it's
that
not
they,
something up. It's
But they
they
reassure each other.
Just
Like,
a
well, he said a
natural-
10-1, so he's fine.
No, 10-1 would make me worry. 10-2, I'd be like, oh, he's fine.
It's the other way around.
Holy smokes! All right, I'm gonna start using that.
Don't even get me started on the corporate terminology. We can circle back on that though.
Sean Sullivan in the chat is wondering if these problems are because you're drinking too much balls in the
You know what?
control room.
He might be onto something.
He's actually off the balls.
You're off it.
I haven't had much
Why?
meatballs in a while.
Why is that?
I just controlling where my sugar comes from.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And the caffeine. There was a lot of caffeine in those balls.
Yeah. No, there is.
It's been like 18 months since that.
Has it been 18 months?
Yeah, it was like the start of 2023.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I got left on scene by Ball's Instagram page. I asked to, inquired about a potential sponsorship. They left me on red.
Come on.
Yeah.
They actually read it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. Never responded.
Have you seen this this UFC series on Roku?
Oh my gosh. So I haven't been able to sit down and watch every episode, but obviously people have been clipping it like
Yes,
crazy. The scenes from it, I am very much looking forward to sitting down and watching it because it looks
Riveting, right?
incredible. Oh my God, yes, all this behind the scenes stuff that you would never see elsewhere.
The access is incredible, and kudos to the UFC for allowing this. And I'm sure there are
100%.
there are things that we aren't privy to, but even to get like a slice of it is the matchmaking stuff, fights falling through. The time period is around, I would say, it seems like May. From what I've seen, I have not seen all of it, but like May, October, November. The Aljo.
There's
Cejudo fight.
There's Aljo, there's Islam dropping out, there's them making the
Charles
Aspinall.
dropping out, right?
Yeah. Charles dropping out, them making Aspinall and Pavlovich. Obviously them making the O'Malley fight. So that was summer of last year. But it really is. Hats off to the UFC because some of that access, I'm like, damn, I can't believe they're showing this.
Brilliant, I think, to have it on Roku, which I'll admit, I haven't used in the past, but I download the app. I don't have the device. Do you have the device?
I used to, but no, I don't. But
Oh.
this did make me download the app.
Right. So I'm sure that
Smart.
the activity on there, because UFC fans, MMA fans will eat that up. But there's some interesting stuff. Like, I mean, the stuff with Jones, the stuff in the I think one of the revelations of the whole thing is Hunter Campbell, right? Because you never hear him speak, you never hear him do interviews, and he, from what I've seen, has such a prominent role because he has such a prominent role in the company. I've said this time and again. He is the most important person in the company behind the scenes. He's the one doing these deals. He's the one making these fights. He's the one negotiating. When shit hits the fan, he's telling Dana. There's a scene where he makes the Jones-Stipe fight in a car and then comes back to them and tells them, like, I got the fight done. You see that? It's crazy stuff. And so I kind of like that MMA fans are starting to realize that, he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. But then there's other things where it's like, oh yeah, Aljo really was kind of pressured into this, right? Or when you just kind of see when they're trying to make Usman versus Chimaev, when Paulo Costa pulls out, you kind of see like, the way it's pitched, like this would be the biggest fight, and we can make Usman versus who would it be? Usman versus Strickland, because he's the champion at the time. If he wins this fight, it's great. It's amazing. I'd love to know the stuff that didn't make it, but even the portions that did. DC talking to Jones, the stuff with Aljo and Tiki at the HQ, sitting down and talking about like not feeling the love and not liking the way that O'Malley fight was put together. Brilliant stuff. I hope that they do more. My understanding is that I'm sure there's a world where they'll do plenty of this, but could you imagine if this is, they do a deal with Netflix at some point when the ESPN deal is done and this goes on Netflix?
It'd be so good. It's almost like embedded on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's incredible.
But you know what's kind of cool about it? It's like a year later.
I actually think that's why I like it more.
Yeah.
You're like looking back and you're like, oh damn, this is what was going on while all this was happening.
Well, you know what it kind of is?
Amazing.
It's sort of like Drive to Survive in that sense. Like, if you're an F1 fan, how everything played out. But now you get to go back and be like, oh, shit, this is what happened leading up to it.
This is what really happened.
I'm sure they've taken inspiration from that. Everyone has tried to replicate that. Top Rank is doing something. Like, everyone's trying to replicate that. There's so much that goes on. And they happened to pick a period where a lot of shit was hitting the fan and there was a lot of drama. I don't really view. I saw some people saying like, "Oh, it's just like one big PR, play for the UFC." Like, I guess everything is PR. To me, this is just kind of how the machine runs. And so, if you're a fan of the business, if you're a fan of how fights get made, the relationship between the promotion and the fighters, why isn't that interesting? Why does it have to be so dismissive? Why does that have to be PR, so to speak? Like, everything to a degree is a version of PR. But like the UFC doesn't have to sell us. The UFC doesn't have to, not only does the UFC not have to sell us on the machine, the promotion, all that stuff, they don't have to sell, like, they need Roku to sell us? No, they're helping, like, this deal is beneficial to the UFC because they're getting paid, but also it's beneficial to Roku because of who the UFC is. You know what I mean? It's not like they got this big opportunity to show the world who they are on Roku. They're fine with or without Roku. And I actually think it's smart to not put it on ESPN because now you just have a new audience that you're able to broadcast yourselves to. I don't know. I thought it was great. I love to see that kind of behind the scenes stuff. And I love the fact that we are almost a year removed from some of these things because now you get to see the inner workings of it all. They tried to make Islam and Charles, they tried to make that for the MSG card before settling on Aspinall and Pavlovich. Like, you kind of pick up on some nuggets along the way. And let's see. The part that I wasn't clear on, maybe Rick would know this better than us. I think there's like 3 episodes that got released. And I'm not sure if they're going to release more or if that's it. I kind of like when they release them one at a time, to be honest, as opposed to like the whole bundle. When people come out with new series, they release the whole bundle. I like the old school 1 week at a time. Like how they had The Last Dance. They didn't release them all at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they released 3 all at once for this.
Yeah.
I'm Trying to see if I can find if there's going to be any more episodes.
It is labeled season 1. So
yeah, 3 feels like small for one season.
Yeah, but also the fact that it has season 1, maybe that means that there's a season 2, or maybe that's just the way they label things. I don't know. It's called Fight Inc. Inside the UFC. It's a good watch. If you have Roku or not. By the way, if you don't have Roku, and I don't know if this is available over in Europe, overseas, but if you're in America, all you have to do is download and create an account for free, and you can watch it. So definitely worth your time, in my opinion. Obviously, 303, a big topic over the last week or so since last Monday. And I told you on Wednesday, all is good. They are moving forward. Optimism, positivity, all that stuff. And now they had ads for it. They had promos for it. On Saturday, Michael Chandler sat down with the Pivot and talked about some of the stuff that happened leading up to the cancellation of the press conference. I'm still getting the random, what's up with 303? What's up with 303? But it feels like everyone has kind of calmed down a little bit to a degree.
I actually got a text this morning in a group chat that was just like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence on McGregor fighting at 303?
Is this from friends or is this from...
This is from friends, like casual fans. Coming a little bit late to the party. I told him 10. I said it's happening.
Yeah, again, and what I said on Wednesday was like, if he falls down, like if something happens, so I can't just say definitively June 29th it will happen. No, I can't say that Chimaev and Whitaker is definitively going to happen. That's why it says card subject to change. But I'm saying as of Wednesday and as of today, the reason for the cancellation is not going to preclude this fight from happening. Cancellation of the press conference. He did post something, I think it was on Wednesday evening after the show. He posted on Instagram a picture of himself. Did you see this picture?
Of course I saw, yeah, him laid up with his hands behind his head, like just chilling.
Yeah, I think a picture in that regard says 1,000 words.
Yeah, I think that, and then as soon as the promo ran on Saturday night during the UFC Louisville card, he made a post on Instagram and was essentially saying, he said, "See you soon at UFC."
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All right. So is that enough for you guys? Or do you still want more?
Gray pinstripe in the blood-soaked octagon, triple comma companies all over it. See you soon at UFC.
Oh, okay.
I think it's happening.
Yeah, again,
they're running promos. They're putting everything back on the YouTube channels. I think there was a little scare, and now we're over.
Did they really take things off?
The YouTube channel, the Twitter detectives, they released a bunch of free fights like him versus Diaz too, and then took them down, and now they're back up.
That's so weird. And how do they know this? They're monitoring the YouTube channel?
On the case, man. Come on. These are...
Who even
These are diehard fans.
Who notices beforehand that this was there and that it's not there?
Oh, because usually like the UFC will like tweet out like, "Oh, this week's free fights" or whatever.
Oh.
And I guess they did it at the start of June because it's a McGregor fight month.
And they took it down?
But now it's back up.
Okay. No, I know.
Now they're running promos.
All right. Well, there you go. 303. I think the commercial is solid. Weird. Ulberg Hill is not as big as Gary MVP, but that's the one in the commercial for whatever reason, for whatever it's worth. Again, it doesn't really matter. Can't get too hung up on it. But I do feel like it is a bigger fight. Do you agree?
I do agree. I kind of wish it was just a featured bout.
What do you mean? Not called the co-main event?
No. Like it was just the third one down. I think right now they have it slated kicking off the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like they have like that.
Does that matter to you? What does it matter?
Oh, I just love having like the last 3 fights of the night just be all 3 of them be bangers.
Yeah, but now you start with a banger.
And then we go to
Mayra Bueno Silva? Yeah, come on. That's a big one. By the way, what a spot for them two, right?
Big one. Big spot. Gotta deliver.
New York Rick is...
UFC 297.
Oh, it's huge. New York Rick saying that 3 episodes, season 1. So that's it.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
There you have it.
Cool with me.
I want more.
Cool with you?
It's cool with me, but I want more.
Yeah, me too.
Give me a season
Hope we get
2.
another season.
Give me a 6-episode run.
Great.
Also, and we'll talk more about this on Wednesday's show. This weekend, not the deepest UFC card of all time, but it is the Anderson Silva Chael Sonnen boxing match. And I saw they had the open workout for Anderson on Monday. And there is talk of both Anderson and Chael joining us on Wednesday's program. So stay tuned for that. But apparently, I had a nice little convo with Chael this morning. He's been very, very, very impressed with the organization, the promotion. This is being run by a beer company over in Brazil. And he said that he was supremely impressed with how everything is being handled. And, sometimes they put on these events, which unfortunately, it is not going to air here in the United States. I don't even know. I think it's airing on Globo and Combate in Brazil. But unfortunately, as of right now, and I don't think anything is going to change between now and Saturday, which is wild that in the year 2024, we won't be able to see a Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva event or fight. But who am I to complain? Because people were mad that we didn't stream our live show. And this is pretty much the equivalent, right? I would say. So I can't be one of those entitled brats saying, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you not stream this? But I do think it's fun and curious to see how it all plays out. All right, let us move along now to our next guest. By the way, still to come. Final guest of the day will be Marlon Chito Vera, so stay tuned for that. But of course, for the last 9 or so days and well before that as well, we had been talking about Dustin Poirier. What a valiant effort. What a great fight. In my opinion, as of right this second, the fight of the year for 2024. Of course, we're only 6 months in, but that's how much fun it was. That's how entertaining it was. And that's just how emotionally charged the whole weekend was 9 days ago in Newark. Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev. What a scene that was at the Prudential Center. And Dustin is now very kind enough to be joining us on this Monday to talk about it all. There he is, DP himself, El Diamante. What a painting behind you there. Is that a new one, by the way?
That's I got this one after before my last fight in Miami.
Okay, I love that. That is
an artist in South Florida made it on a metal. It's pretty cool, man.
It's beautiful and a nice setup. Is this a new microphone?
This is a new one, man. I was coming on aerial. I gotta get it right.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. This is the best sounding Dustin Poirier we've had on the program via Zoom. So appreciate it very much.
No hot mic. No hot mic.
No. It's all good. It's all good. How are you feeling, Dustin? First of all, like from a physical standpoint, I could tell a little bit you're sounding nasal. Obviously, you told us last week broken nose in multiple places, partially torn MCL and injured ribs as well. How are you feeling physically 9 days after the fight?
Honestly, man, every day I wake up, it's a little better. So still getting better. I'm honestly not in that much pain like I was, maybe a week ago. But every now and then my knee, my rib, depending when I move or if I crunch, and my nose kind of stopped hurting and it just feels like pressure now. The pain went away. Okay.
And so do you need surgery on your nose?
Yeah, they wanted to do it today. But I wasn't down with it. So I'm going to get a couple more opinions and take it from there.
Okay. You're hoping not to have surgery?
Of course. I mean, that's like the last step for me. I'd try anything before getting cut on,
Did you,
But I've had 2 nose surgeries
exactly.
already.
Right.
So I know the process. And when I met with the doctor here in Louisiana, I just didn't like the vibe and I want to get a couple more opinions.
Do you remember when you broke your nose?
In this last fight?
Yeah.
Maybe 3rd round, our heads collided.
Okay, so I know like immediately after the fight, you weren't sure if it was because of the headbutt or another. Do you think it was because of the headbutt?
100%.
Okay, wow. And so you still had a little bit more fight to go. How painful was it in that moment?
It wasn't too painful. It was just I couldn't breathe. And at one point he had my back, and I was trying to straighten it or push it so I can breathe, and it just crunched,
Oof.
And it sucks.
Damn. It did lead, and I think a broken nose would lead to this photo. This photo is now like one of the most iconic photos ever. The one that you turned your avatar into, the one with the blood coming out. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We're showing it right now. This is something. I mean, this is a work of art. There's got to be like, I see the smile on your face. You have to love this photo, right? Knowing how much you love the art of war.
Yeah, because like when I see the photo, it doesn't just capture a moment. It captures like a feeling that I felt in that moment walking towards him. Like one of us is going down feeling like I'm leaving it all out here right now. Let's go. This is everything I have. That feeling is like something special. And that picture brings me to that place.
Right. I had heard, and again, I want to preface this by, you're not an excuse type. So hopefully no one takes this as you making any excuses. But I was told that you had injured your ribs a few weeks before the fight, and that sort of altered how you could train for the fight. Is that accurate? Are you able to confirm that?
Yeah, I busted my ribs in camp, but of course I don't want to like talk about that. I don't think it changed anything or the way I fought. But yeah, I smashed my ribs up bad.
Ever to the point where you considered pulling out?
Just my wife wanted me to.
Oh, damn.
But I wasn't gonna. Yeah.
So she that was her, like her advice was you should pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It was too close though, man. Like,
yeah,
I was already halfway through camp. I was like, I'm fighting for the belt.
And why did you make that call? Were you afraid that you wouldn't get a title shot?
I was halfway through training camp, and I'm fighting for the lightweight title. Like I wasn't pulling out, man.
Okay. How did it feel because like fighting Islam, watching you fight Islam feels very uncomfortable. He is so relentless. He's suffocating. I can't imagine going through that with busted ribs. How much did they bother you during the fight?
Only time I felt him in the whole fight was maybe a third or whenever he had a body triangle kind of closer towards my corner, and he tried to mount me with the body triangle, and all the pressure he was trying to mount while he still had the lock, and all the pressure kind of twisted my body. That's the only time that I had to like really protect myself on an instinct because I felt the ribs hurting. But other than that, no problem.
Okay. This may be and now kind of taking a step back, this may be a crazy question to ask you, but did you realize you were so beloved before fight week? It is very rare to see everyone who isn't, there's the Islam fans, but then the rest of the community was almost willing you to the top. Like the emotion that you brought out in people, the talk, the narratives going into this fight. Like there was people that were just wanting to see you win so badly, and that is extremely rare. Were you aware that you were this beloved going into the fight?
Not really, man. At the press conference, when he would try to speak, the crowd would boo him, and it was hard to hear him. I was like, this is crazy. This is the champ, and these guys are booing him and cheering me. I appreciate it, but I appreciate everybody who's followed along my career and supported me, man. But fighting is life, and I think if you're true to it, people recognize that, and you just get like I said, they come along this journey with me through the last however many years my life has been documented through fighting and on television and in these pay-per-views. So thank you all.
Are you uncomfortable at times with all the love, or are you okay? Like sometimes when there's so many, compliments and accolades being thrown your way, it can affect your head, right? It could affect the way you view things. Then there's the ups and downs of that. Are you comfortable with when you see all this and read all this and digest all of this?
Yeah, it makes me feel good. I appreciate it so much. It does. And it's been, for the past week, so many messages, so many people reaching out, just supporting what I have, what I'm doing in my fighting career and everything. It's been overwhelming, honestly. I didn't think this many people would be reaching out to me and yeah, it's overwhelming.
How was the week leading up to the fight? There was a great scene when you left the press conference and you went to Lafayette Street. That was amazing. But just like the overall vibe of the week, how were you feeling as you approached Saturday?
I felt great, man. I felt like I was going to be the world champ. I felt great. I have nothing to complain about. Smooth week, easy in quotes, weight cut, as smooth as it could be. And I felt great.
The decision to go with the sort of remixed walkout with the diamonds and then going into your usual walkout song, where did that come from?
From the fans. I was getting tagged on so much stuff on X and on Instagram. And I just kept seeing it every week leading up to the fight. And so I reached out to the UFC and I said, hey, can we do this? Because I think I need to. You know, so many people are tagging me in these videos of this guy singing a cover song. And I was like, I got to see if we can just do the beginning when the lights are off, the beginning of the song, and UFC did it perfect.
Okay, so you were happy with it.
Yeah, for sure.
The shorts, how did that come about?
Hunter Campbell reached out to me and said, we're going to be doing custom shorts for certain guys, and this is a big fight, and we'd love to make you some. And we started going back and forth with designs, different floral patterns, different color patterns, and stuff like that. And I finally picked out these.
Amazing. So it wasn't you reaching out to them; they reached out to you about it.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And was it your idea to go with floral, or was that their idea?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
And I'm sorry, is it because of the shirts, or is there a deeper meaning behind the floral?
Nah, it's just because of the colorful shirts I wear and stuff. I just like that.
Well, I've never worn a Robert Graham, but I'm like envious of them because they look so damn cool on you all the time. I don't think I could pull it off, if I'm being honest.
I think you got it. I think you can pull it off.
But it's a damn good look. I hope Robert Graham is paying you a lot of money for all the love because I only associate you with those shorts, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Or shirts, I should say, not shorts, but they were on the shorts.
Hey, I got the full kits. I got shirts and shorts over here.
I love it. All right, so we get to the fight in the back. How are you feeling?
Great, feeling great. You know, good warm up. Get drug tested. Play my music. Warm up with Gamrot. Warm up with Thiago Alves. Do some drills with my boxing coach. I felt great, man.
At any point, are you? There's clips coming out of your journey. There's people giving you all kinds of love. Are you ever getting reflective? Are you allowing the moment to get too big? I know you say you know you're going to be champion on this night, but did you ever get emotional? Did you ever think about, oh man, look how far I've come. Look, it's all coming to the, like, did you allow yourself to go there?
No, I think that would have put me in a bad mental space if it all came to a head. It would have been so much pressure on me, you know. I just took it like another night, like another fight night, any night.
I believe you saw your daughter before the fight, right? Meaning in the locker room.
Not at the arena.
Oh, not okay. The
No.
photo that you took with her, that was before the fight. That was the day before the fight or something?
That was that was the weigh-ins.
Got
the
it.
public weigh-ins.
Okay. So I was just wondering what it was like, just knowing that she was in the building, her presence, being there for the first time. What did that do to you?
Honestly, I didn't notice it until after, when I got out the octagon and I saw her crying by my wife. That's when like my dad superpowers kicked in, and I was just worried about her crying, trying to let her know we're okay. I'm fine. I'm not injured. I'm good. But she was with me since Thursday at my Airbnb. So leaving for fight day, you know, because my wife and daughter left maybe 2 hours after I did. So when the UFC came to pick me up to bring me to the venue, giving her a hug, like knowing she was going to be in the arena when I was leaving my Airbnb, that was kind of like a little bit emotional for me, because I knew I wasn't going to see her till after, and I didn't know what was about to happen. Mm-hmm. So that leaving her the day of the fight, that was the only time I kind of felt like a little pressure, a little emotional.
But that's the first time you've ever had a chance to say in person goodbye to her going to the arena, right? Or has she ever been to she's been before to the city, but just never went to the actual arena, correct?
No, that's her first time in New Jersey.
No. Meaning, like, she's sometimes been to, like, if you fought in Vegas, she's been to Vegas, just didn't come to the fight, right?
Yeah, only once.
Okay. So this, I mean, so everything was feeling very special, and then we get to the fight, and the first couple minutes you're on the ground with him, and it looks like it might be a tough spot for you because there's still like 2.5, 3 minutes left in the round. Are you panicking at all? What is going through your mind as he is wrapping you up like an octopus?
The oh shit, how'd I get here? I can't believe he tripped my foot with that. You know, he had like a single kind of high crotch and then swept my other foot out. Like, it was so slick, you know, and we're dry. That's what I remember thinking, like, oh my goodness, we don't even have 2 minutes off the clock, I don't think, and I'm on the ground with this guy. But I just stayed composed, protected my neck from the rear naked chokes, and did as much as I could to try to put pressure on his legs from the body triangle so I can unloosen his grip with his legs, but also not being too crazy twisting because my rib, it was a lot of stuff going on.
Right. The fact that you survived that and went to the corner at the end of the first round and then got to start the second round on your feet, I'm sure that gave you a ton of confidence.
I mean, we were dry. I thought one of his best chances of getting me early dry on my back. I was in the worst position I could be, and I survived. It was just felt good, and then we started getting on the feet. But I feel like I couldn't open up. His rhythm was strange, Ariel. He fought me either all the way in, like clinched, or all the way out at a kicking range. It was just really hard to get his rhythm to get into exchanges and make him miss and counter him. I felt like I never got that chance. I never got going. And I felt like anytime I threw more than 2 punches, he was going to duck under me or shoot grab a leg. So he fought a great fight. Him and his team did a great job of preparing him. And because I was ready, I was ready to leave it all out there.
You said in the post-fight press conference that your corner was telling you to throw more knees, but that
at the ends of my combinations, they wanted me to finish with knees because he was dipping really low and backing straight out. But I didn't because I thought he was going to catch my leg.
Do you regret that?
Hindsight,
Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time. Hindsight's always.
Was he tougher than you thought he would be, or just, because everyone compares him to Khabib, so you had some sort of window into what you were dealing with, but a different guy, different style to a degree. Did it kind of go the way you thought in terms of the difficulty?
I knew it was going to be a tough fight. These style of fights are the toughest for me. Guys who are going to chain wrestle and keep the fight slower. I do better in like a brawl or even somebody who's going to exchange and plant their feet and throw punches with me. That's where I find ways to win. This was a tough fight to try to take advantage of openings when he's on the back foot and I'm kind of chasing. It was just a tough style for me. But he was everything I thought he was going to be. He was the champ. Like I knew he was tough. I knew he was going to be strong. I knew he had grit. You don't get in the position he's in by not having all of those things. You have to have everything. And it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Can you compare his style of grappling to Khabib's?
Takedowns are different. Pressure's similar. Takedowns are a little different. He does a lot of upper body stuff. He kept trying to clinch up with me. Khabib would shoot lower shots. I think Khabib was stronger, physically stronger. Islam's squeeze was incredible. Like the whole fight, he felt okay. All of these guys are strong, but it wasn't overwhelming. But his squeeze, that torque he got in that Darce choke, and it was like a vice, it was like a vice grip.
And that takedown leading into the final, sequence, that was pretty high level stuff, right?
Yeah, and I saw people saying like, "Oh, Dustin, I've never even seen that before." I've seen it. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. I've seen it before. I just didn't think it was about to happen right there.
Right. Did you feel? Some people were saying that they thought he was getting tired. Did you feel like you thought he was getting tired?
I mean, we were both fatigued just from fighting hard, but I don't think he was anywhere close to. He could have done another 5 minutes, no doubt. Yeah. His arms might have started to get filled with blood. So both of us, our punches are going to be a little slower. Our legs are a little tired, but neither one of us was tired. We could have kept going.
I've never asked you about this, but where did the, for lack of a better word, like tick to fix the shorts constantly throughout your fight, when did that develop?
I don't know, man, but I can't stop. I don't know. Immediately after the fight, Mike Brown, when we got back to the Airbnb, was telling me, he was like, dude, I've never seen you touch your shorts that much.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like you do it more now than ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't plan on it. I tell you that.
Do you do it in training as well? Like when you spar?
Yeah.
You really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever think of maybe like changing your shorts so that you don't do it? Like what if you wore, like Muay Thai shorts or like Vale Tudo shorts?
I probably would. Maybe I have Tourette's. I'll probably still do it.
Even if you were wearing like tights and you couldn't lift them up?
I definitely wouldn't do it with tights. But it's all good.
Well, the reason I asked that is because I saw some people doing breakdown videos, and I'm curious if you believe this as well, that he was timing takedowns based on when you would touch your shorts and move them up. Do you think that there's any credence to that?
There could be, but I doubt it. But you never know.
Okay.
I would do it. I would do it again.
Right. So it's not something that you've tried to stop doing.
No.
What was that the final sequence? How would you describe it? Because like there are some people who had a 2-2 going into the 5th. You're in the 5th round. You made it that far. You've had ups and lows. You've had moments of success in the fight, and then unfortunately he catches you. The emotion that you felt when it sunk in, the reality sunk in. What was that like?
I didn't recognize that he was sliding his arm back through for the Darce. I knew he was looking for a guillotine, but for some reason I just was blinded to the moment that he was setting the Darce, and once I recognized it was so tight, there was no way I was getting out of that. It was either tap or go to sleep. And I did a little bit of, I did both. My leg was trapped. It was just slick, man. He's good. He's the world champ, man. He's good.
Would you say he's the best pound for pound fighter on the planet?
That's tough, man. That's tough because John Jones has never been beat.
Right.
That's tough. Top 2.
Yeah. It's become a hot debate since the fight. I'm sure you've seen some of the stuff. And I think he's number 1. Some people, I guess, look at the whole body of work from day one. Obviously, Jones might be the greatest of all time. But I think right now, pound for pound, if everyone was the same weight, Islam is number 1. That's my 2 cents.
I respect that. And you might be right.
So in the moment, in the cage, speaking to Joe Rogan, how close were you to retiring?
Close, but I'm never gonna just lay my gloves down on the mat like that, because I tell you every time, this could be my last fight. Everyone for the past couple of years, I felt like that, but I don't know. And even being this far removed from the fight, I still don't know. I'm kind of looking for clarity, searching myself, and taking it one day at a time. But I don't know. I don't know what's next.
Okay, so that was the obvious follow-up. I'm sure people want to know if you have made a decision. The answer is obviously no.
I still don't know. I still don't know. I can't say I'll never fight again, but I just don't know the reason. What am I going to fight for? To get into a battle. I love that, but man, I've taken some lumps over the years. It has to be for something, and maybe that's something I'll recognize that or realize that in the coming weeks. I don't know, but I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Are you leaning in a direction?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards being done.
Okay. More so than ever?
Yeah, for sure.
To the point where you
especially without getting the title fight, how many more times would I need to fight to put myself back in position to fight for the world title? I don't know. And like I said, I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to fight 5 more times trying to earn another title shot. So I'm in a weird spot. I don't know how to explain it or what decision to make, but I'm just kind of taking it day by day and seeing what comes with my mind changing and just to see how I feel.
At the post-fight press conference, you said that, and correct me if I misunderstood this, that your wife has kind of campaigned for you to stop, right? She would prefer if you stop. Since the fight, does she feel the same, or is there a change in her stance?
No, she feels the same because I brought it up a couple times since then. Obviously, maybe one more. And she's like, "No, stop! You need to stop."
And how much do you take her opinion into your decision into account? Like her being more adamant now, does it make you want to stop?
I mean, she knows me better than anyone walking the earth. And I think she just knows how much I put into this and how much it takes of me to prepare for these fights and how selfish I am focusing on this craft and how much it takes away from our family and also the long-term effects, how damaged I get doing these things, Mm-hmm. I think that she's taking all that into consideration when she's telling me it might be time. But me, I still know I can beat these guys, right. Ariel. I can beat these fucking guys.
You went the 5th round with the number 1 guy in the division and in the world, in my opinion. There's a strong case that you could beat everyone in the whole weight class on any given night, including him.
I believe that. That's the problem.
Right.
Exactly. Him too. And I still feel that. He's a great champion and he beat me. He beat me for sure. But I felt like I could, like I said in the press conference, every time I got off the stool, I felt like I'm going to get him this round. And never once was I broken or out of the fight. I was thinking I was going to win every time I got off the stool. And looking back at it, I still feel that way. If we did another 5 rounds, I would still get off the stool every round thinking I'm going to win this fight.
And the allure of big time fights, I know they're not for belts, so to speak, but like maybe a Diaz fight or a Conor fight or so, like this doesn't appeal to you. It's just all about the belt. Money fights, fun fights. It's just all you wanted that.
I wanted the belt, but I got to see how I feel. Like talking about those things is not exciting to me. But if my phone rang right now and it was Hunter and he said, "Hey, this fight, maybe I got to see how I feel when it's offered to me." That's how I know what decision to make. Right? Talking about it, nothing seems attractive to me.
Do you think they will call you at some point with something?
No clue, man.
I wonder if they're just going to leave you alone and wait for you to call them.
I'm not calling.
No, okay, fair enough. You will never call.
Yeah. No.
Okay. And just curious, I mean, what do you think your timeline is? Like, obviously, we're talking about this. It's not like you can fight next week. If you were in the midst of your career, how long are you actually out for, given all these injuries?
8 weeks, maybe.
8 weeks, really, with the knee too.
Yeah, already started physical therapy. Have another session tomorrow. Nose will probably be 6 weeks. Once they re-break the bones and straighten everything out. Depending when I do that, I can fight.
Right. No surgery on the knee.
No surgery on the knee.
Re-break the bones. That's what they do?
Yeah, because these bones are going to set. I have 5 breaks in my nose, so these are going to set in the wrong positions. And I can't breathe out of my right nostril at all, bro. Like nothing.
Nothing. Gosh. And when they
nada, everything got pushed over,
Right. And when they re-break them, do they put you under?
Oh yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
And you've had this done before.
Yeah, so I had after I fought Joseph Duffy at the MGM Grand, night Robbie fought Condit, I shattered my nose then. I flew back to Florida, had a surgery there, but the bone set wrong with the stents or something, so they had to re-break it. So I had 2 surgeries after that fight. And it's just so pain. Like I would rather break my nose 10 times than have 1 surgery, because the recovery process it's painful, man. And those stents are deep in your nose and they're stitched in. It's just a lot of stuff in your face, and it's a lot of pressure and a lot of pain. I would rather break it again than have surgery.
Ending your career on a win, does that matter to you?
I've never lost 2 in a row.
Right.
So whoever I go up against next is a dead man. But
well, now you sound like a guy who's going to fight again.
Exactly. My wife would whip my ass if she heard me talking. That would be a cool way to close it out, right? Show everybody that I can bounce back again. But we'll see, man. I don't know. Nothing makes sense to me.
Right. And what do you when you say that, what does that mean? Nothing makes sense to you?
Like no fights.
Oh, okay.
Looking at paper, like nothing makes sense to me.
Right.
Like who am I going to fight?
Now, when you have a chance to look back on your career, the fact that you had that moment with the interim belt, you got the feeling of the belt around your waist, does that make this a little easier to digest?
Well, my daughter keeps telling me that. It's okay, Dad. Some people don't have any belts. She tells me, some people don't have any belts. You have one right here. Like, you're right, babe. I do. And I hold that belt high. It was an interim championship, but he was the current champ. He was on a big win streak. And my career, I beat a bunch of former champions as well. So, like, I know I'm there. I feel like I'm there, but I just wanted the undisputed best in the world title.
Did you hear from a lot of fellow fighters after the fight showing you, like, we had Eddie and DJ on last week, and they were showering you with praise, and these are legends of the game. I'm wondering if a lot of people reached out to you and if that made you feel any better. Yeah.
Anytime I get, like, respect from my peers, that means a lot to me. Because those are the guys in the arena, guys and girls in the arena, putting it all on the line. Like Kayla Harrison reached out to me after the fight, had a bunch of nice stuff to say, and spoke to me a little bit about my grandmother. And my grandmother's someone I love and miss very much every day. And she told me she knows my grandmother's proud. I don't want to get emotional right now, dude. Oh,
okay.
But yeah, no, it's great for my peers to reach out.
Can I just ask, when did your grandmother pass away?
2009, I believe.
Okay,
I grew up. She raised me. Her and my mom raised me.
The reason I was asking was she unfortunately missed this whole run.
Yeah, but I was fighting when she was still alive, and every time we'd hang up the phone, she would call me champ. She was like the first person calling me champ. But yeah, she missed the whole run.
It was crazy. The morning of the fight, I got an email from Michael Tucker, who directed Fightville. I haven't talked to him in years. And he sent me an email, and he told me, I think that he was in the Ukraine or Russia doing another project. and how much he was looking forward to watching you. And then he sent me a couple of like unreleased clips from the film. And one of them was of you telling him, I believe, that your dream was to be the lightweight champion, the best in the world. And that was like, I think you were 20 at the time or something like that, or maybe even less than that. I think, no, in your teens, you're in your late teens. I was wondering if you saw that and if it took you back to that guy, that kid with those big dreams, which at the time you say a great thing in that line. Like some people say, my dreams are crazy. Like, what are you dreaming about? Like, what are you doing? And you actually, the kid from Lafayette actually got to that spot. You were there. You were right there, 25 minutes away.
Yeah, it's crazy. When you put that clip out, it brought me back to that moment. Like I remember I was at a boxing gym sitting on the edge of the ring. Just did a boxing workout with a coach here in Louisiana. And I remember that exact moment.
Damn. That kid, no way he believes that all this happens. Even though you had that dream, do you really believe that like you turned into an international superstar beloved like this?
No, I would have never. I could never. I knew I was going to do my best and push this thing, like I said, as far as it can go. And yeah, I was just happy, like, even at that age, young and dumb, like, I still understood the passion of chasing your dreams, you know, like people who are going to point the finger or say, whenever you stumble, you know, celebrate and stuff like that. But I'm the one doing it, you know, they're the ones talking. I'm the one doing it. You know, I'm the one bleeding in the arena, and that's power in that. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate to be able to recognize that.
Mm-hmm. By the way, how are the new gloves in action?
I like them.
The look.
My hands kind of got a little banged up. They're thinner.
They're thinner,
like
right?
My hand is still healing.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Right here, like all the.
And that's 9 days
both
later.
Both hands, actually. Yeah. They're a lot thinner, but I like them because I can make a closed fist very tight. You know, I like them for. The other gloves were tough to make a closed fist.
Did that not happen with the other gloves? Wear and tear like that?
In the Max fight, there was a lot of volume thrown, so my knuckles were raw, but not to this deep of like a cut on my knuckle.
Okay. And what do you think of the look, the gold?
It's different. You know, I don't mind it. I see people talking trash. Some people like it. It's to each their own. I thought it was cool.
What was the reception like when you landed back home in Lafayette? Some great scenes there. Were you expecting that?
I didn't expect that. No, it was crazy. It was crazy. But it's like I just got through a hectic fight week with a bunch of interviews, got beat up in front of the world. Now I get home, finally touch down in Louisiana, and as soon as I walk through the airplane doors, it's like the news team is asking me questions. I'm on live TV. I'm like, oh shit, hold on. But my daughter was blown away by it. She loved it because like everybody was saying, you're famous to my little girl. She was so pumped.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And what about when you came home? Because I saw before there were signs outside your house and stuff like that. What was the scene like when you came home?
It's crazy seeing all the signs. Like even down this road, there's a nice big house, and they got like a huge 8x10 one on their front gate of their house. It says, Louisiana's Diamond, we support you, Dustin Poirier. It has my eyes on it. I was like, man, that's so crazy. You know, people I don't know putting these huge thing on there. It feels good. It feels good.
Any king cakes at the doorstep?
No, that's Mardi Gras, man. We don't do king cakes right now.
Oh, I thought you could give it. You can't give it out at any time. I thought that was like the Louisiana thing. Only Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, yeah.
Oh man. So what is the thing? Are people giving you like sweets and stuff to just?
Oh, actually, somebody like rice and gravy here.
Okay.
Cook meat down with a gravy, put it over rice. Somebody gave me 5 Tupperwares in the airport late at night when I landed, and I ate them all.
Of what?
I ate them all. It was still hot. Rice and gravy, bro.
No way. Someone just cooked it for you.
Yeah. And my wife was like, I don't know if we should be eating stuff. Yeah. But I said, man, taste this.
Holy shit. I would have not eaten it, but I guess
it was fresh, bro. It was still hot. It was still hot.
Wow. No trepidation whatsoever that it might be a little suspect?
Hey, you got to roll the dice, man.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, you're freaking out there with blood pouring out of your nose.
If the pound for pound #1 guy didn't kill me, I think I could do some rice and gravy. I'll be all right.
That's right. You know what's so crazy about your demeanor right now? Comparing this guy to the guy who we spoke to on the Monday after Gaethje. This is both losses, both stoppage losses. It's a totally different person. And yet the stakes were bigger in this fight. But yet it seems like you're much more at peace and happy and okay with it all. Am I wrong?
No, I'm of course not happy with the result,
No.
but I'm happy with
Yeah.
who I am. Like I put out a video the other day on Instagram, and it's so true, man. Like, what's more important, what you acquire on the journey or who you become on the journey? And the person I become on this journey, I'm forever grateful for the fight game, for turning me into this person, because the way I think about things, the way I view things, my perspective is completely different. And it's all because of the ups and downs and picking myself up. And I just look at the world in a different way. And I'm thankful for that. You know, I'm in a great spot.
Wow. And I'm sure that makes the potential end of the journey a little bit easier to digest. Like, you couldn't have ended it after Gaethje the way it was.
No, I would have never been okay.
Right. Do you think you would be at
Yeah.
peace if this is the end? Like, do you think this would be something that would creep up 10 years later, or you're truly at peace now?
It's tough to say, because the only thing that like makes me not want to walk away is because I know I can still compete with these guys, and I feel like I'm still getting better. You know, it's not like I'm slowing down that much, or age is catching up with me. My reaction time is still good. I feel good, and I know I can beat these guys. And say I do leave, you know, in a year from now, it might not be the same. If I ever try to come back or something, like, I'm scared to miss what I have left to give, but also I don't want to give too much of myself. I know I sound like a broken record on these interviews saying this stuff over and over again, but it's like, I want to give more because I know I have a short window to give the best of myself, but also I've given so much of myself to the sports for so long. It's just, where do I draw the line? And that's a battle that I have to figure out with myself and digest, because I don't know the answers to a lot of these things, man. I'm just living life like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. Can I tell you my opinion just based on what you're saying? And you didn't ask for my opinion, but and you may not like the answer, but I think you have one more left in you. And I don't know if that's in 6 months, 8 months, a year from now, next summer. Excuse me, but I really feel like there's a fire there that will propel you to make the walk one more time. Not that I think you have to, and there's nothing, like, you've done it all, but I don't know. You don't seem like a guy who's done to me.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people keep saying. Even my brother was here the other night, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you're not done. I know you're not done." I'm like, dude, I can't even stop. I have to fight, I guess. I guess I have to fight. I'm gonna fight your ass, Ariel.
I mean, I feel like we could sell a few pay-per-views. What do you think?
Oh, dude, for sure. We could put that on the Zone or something, man.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but I'll do ESPN Plus. I like them; they're cool.
I mean, domestic buys will be insane.
Domestic. I'm internationally beloved. I don't know about you, but I feel like
no, you're Shoney Carter over here.
That's right. That's right, Mr. International. That's right. And so, okay, so before I let you go, you're one of the rare guys. Go ahead.
Sorry to keep cutting you off. This is another thing with fighting that scares me, is like, for the past 18 years, I've been so engaged with it. Like, every morning I wake up, I'm thinking about fighting. I'm watching a video. I'm heading down to the gym to do jiu-jitsu with my guys here locally. I'm always trying to be better at my craft. I'm scared to not keep that same mindset and work ethic towards being a better fighter every day. And then I try to come back or something. Like, I've never got out of the mix besides having hip surgery when I couldn't walk for 8 weeks and stuff. That's the only times I've taken off. I've been a student of the game forever, every day of my life, you know, since I started this. I'm scared to, like, start to walk away and not be on the mats every single day, and then try to come back and just, I don't know, not feel in tune with everything. All that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, living like a normal life, like a normal civilian life, waking up, making my daughter breakfast, and not going to the gym or not needing to go run, that scares me too. I don't know how to not have a fight coming up, because I've done it since I was a kid. This feels weird to me, even though it's only a week out. Waking up, not calling people, not saying, "What time you guys training? What's training looking like this weekend?" That's been my life for 18 years. So I feel like a little bit out of order without that.
Have you talked to, Mike Brown is obviously very close to you. Have you talked to people about how they take their foot off that gas?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Are you worried about what life is like post-fighting, meaning how you occupy your time? Because I was going to say, you're one of the few guys who has businesses set up. So I feel like it's not the same type of rush, but you're good monetarily. It seems like you've set yourself up, but it's just like that day to day. You're not a desk guy. You're not a 9-to-5 guy. You're not that type of guy. Are you worried that it's going to drive you crazy?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm worried a little bit that I'm going to, I don't know. Yeah, go crazy.
Mm.
But that's why I want to do, like, jump on some ESPN gigs, get behind the desk, stay attached to the sport, but give me something to focus my energy on, maybe working that craft, learning how to speak better, learn how to interview people better. I don't know. I just need to be fully involved with something, because every day for the past 18 years, I've woken up with that. Get better at fighting, get better at fighting. And if I really do leave this, and that's not what I wake up to every day, I'm going to go crazy for sure.
Have you thought about motivational speaking? I think you would be great at that.
Dude, that's what Robert Rivetta tells me every time we hang up the phone. He's like, but I don't know, man. I don't think that's my thing.
You'd be perfect at that.
We'll leave that for Michael Chandler, man. We'll leave that for Bootstrap Mikey.
You have different styles.
Muscle Milk Mike.
You have different styles. But I think you would be amazing at that. You'd be incredible at that.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I know you love boxing. Any desire to get one in there? Would that be a different thing?
I would love to. That would be fun. It's like that excites me. But I don't think, I still have 7 fights on my contract with the UFC.
You've been a great guy to the company. I mean, they'd let you do a one-off.
I don't know.
You want me to put in a call? I'll put in a call to Dana and Hunter.
Yeah.
That'll go over well.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Do that.
I'll put in a call. Okay, so here you are. You're just going to be chilling, and that's it. You're not going to.
That's the thing that scares me. Yeah, like my schedule's right here, and usually it's 3-mile run.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu at 11. MMA rolls at 12:30. Like I usually have all kind of. I'm just barbecuing. Just swimming, playing ping pong.
Yeah, that's the retired life. Shuffleboard, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I saw Mateusz Gamrot upset about some of Arman Tsarukyan's comments. He was responding on Twitter. Arman was on our show, and I don't think he was disrespectful to you at all, but I think he did another interview where Mateusz didn't like what he had to say, and I know they have a history too. Have you been bothered by anything Arman has said in the aftermath of the fight?
I didn't see him on your show, but I was tagged and stuff on Twitter when he said, "Did I quit?" or something. There was like a long quote of him saying, "I quit." I swear to God on my life, my family's life, that I'd not quit.
No, it didn't seem.
I got yeah. Especially like you fight 24 minutes or 22 and a half minutes with a guy. Like what's 2.5 minutes of no matter what you're going through? Like, come on, that's crazy.
Is this a thing where like maybe if you never fight again, you won't find yourself back at ATT? Or
no, those are my guys, man.
Will you
Anytime
come back?
Gamrot's preparing.
Okay, you'll come back.
I have a condo right by the gym that I don't have on the market, so I have a place there. I'm going to be back. Anytime Sabah Homasi is getting ready for a fight, or if Johnny Eblin ever asked me to come in and do some work, all those guys are still close to me. Those are still my good friends. And if I can help them out prepare for a fight, I'll definitely be there.
Do you think you'll ever be a coach like Mike Brown, a head coach?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because that dude takes a special kind of person. Like Mike's he went from New Jersey, maybe home one day, to Japan. No telling where his next trip is. You're always on the road. I want to be home with my family, man.
Right. But maybe if it's just like 2 guys, or like, do you like the idea of being a coach? Is it the travel thing?
I love coaching these guys. Like whenever Eblin asked me to be in his corner, or Sabah, or anybody asked me to be in their corner, guys who I respect and I train with, I love that, man. If I can add anything to somebody's fight camp or to somebody's fight week, I love that stuff. But like coaching guys and teaching somebody from the ground up and trying to build a team, I'm not doing that.
Okay. If this is the end, any regrets?
Probably should have jumped a guillotine at least once in this last one.
Not even a single attempt, huh?
No, that was the plan, not to jump any guillotine.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'm the silly one for not jumping it. But regrets? No, because everything happened the way it's supposed to happen, dude. That's another thing with my mindset moving forward after these past few fights. I wanted to win. I prepared myself. I was ready to win, ready to sacrifice it all, do whatever I had to do to get my hand raised. But I lost, and that's life. What do I do? I wake up the next day and pick myself up, be grateful my feet touch the floor, and attack a new day. Like I said, if it's for me, it won't miss me. It wasn't for me that night. And now I'd go through life and put pieces together and see what's next. I can't be too attached to these things,
Man, What amazing advice. Again, you really should consider the speaking stuff. You would help a lot of people out. By the way, last thing, what did you?
I didn't finish ninth grade, man. I can't speak to these people.
You can. That's the beauty. That's the beauty. You didn't finish ninth grade, but you have lived a life. I mean, the street.
I can't read good, Ariel.
What did your daughter say to you when you guys got to the back? Do you remember?
In the arena?
Yeah, like when like you're literally, she's in front of the world. There's emotion. Did she try to console you? Kids can be great in those moments. I'm just wondering.
No, she started pulling it together. After I hugged her and we started walking, she kind of started high-fiving people hanging over the bleachers. And I was like, oh, she's liking this. And we got to the back and she was telling me something. She said, Dad, I saw you hug somebody. You put blood all over their neck. I'm like, yeah, babe. I did. I'm sure I did.
Did she enjoy it?
She was just, I think the moment of the fight kind of overwhelmed her. Then her dad lost. And I don't even know if she knew I was bleeding as much as I was and stuff. I don't think it was just her dad lost. That's why she was heartbroken. But once we got to the back and she walked through all the people hanging over and all the cameras and stuff, she snapped right back into her normal self.
Amazing. Well, I'm sorry it didn't work out, but your perspective seems to be amazing. Yes, go ahead, please.
That's life, man. I'm sorry it didn't work out too, because boy, that I put a hard 18 years to get to that point to make it work out. But that's life, bro.
Man, the 3 title fights. Khabib, Charles, Islam, like I don't know if anyone has ever had 3 tougher title fights than that. I know that's
my story.
I know that's no consolation, but golly, I hope you can hold your head up. By the way, if you would have won, would you have retired on the spot?
Yeah.
That was the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, really? You reached the mountaintop, you were going to retire right then and there?
With the ultimate view.
Oh my God. How do you always have these lines? It's unbelievable. You could have gotten a gigantic payday with the belt. You were going to lay it down. You were going to say,
all
I'm
of
done.
my paydays are gigantic.
I know, but as champion is a different kind of payday, no?
No.
Okay.
I get that.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. Incredible.
Yeah. No, I was going to put the belt down with the gloves.
Oh,
both of them.
What a scene. It's fine. The scene was better.
Hey, but this is my story that happened the way it's supposed to happen for my journey. It's been written already,
Amen. Much love, Dustin. Thank you so much for coming on. Always appreciate it. Get well soon. The nose, the ribs, the knee, and just very quickly, we have a bit of chunk of cash coming your way to the Good Fight Foundation from our show. A lot of people stepped up from our show that we did on Friday, so I will be reaching out to you about how to get that to you. It should be coming any day now. So we were very, very excited to do that. All the money from our show from the Friday night going to the Good Fight Foundation. And did you announce any sort of endeavor in terms of what the theme was for this particular fight? I may have missed that.
Yes. Yeah, so this one with the gloves, the shorts, everything we sell off and auction off, and also the money you're going to donate, which we appreciate very much to you guys. Thank you so much. We're going to put all that towards our back to school drive. That's one of our biggest expenses every year. Is Thanksgiving and back to school drive are the 2 biggest monetary goals we have that are regular every year. And that costs usually around $40,000 to $60,000 to get those backpacks, go with school supplies for the year. So that's what we're going to put the money towards this time.
And where could people try to get your stuff? Like, where can they be a part of the auction?
Oh, I'll tweet out all the links as soon as we get it listed.
Okay.
I'll put it on my social media, and then the foundation will post it as well.
Perfect. Much love, man. Thank you so much for the time. Get well soon, and congrats on an incredible fight.
Thank you, man.
All right. Talk to you soon. There he is, the great Dustin Poirier. What a legend. What a guy. Great to have him on the show. One of our favorites to talk to. And what perspective. Hard not to take inspiration from what he has to say and how he conducts himself. And let's see if this is the end. If it is, what a journey. If it's not, hopefully many more great nights for him in the future. Talk about one of our favorites. We go from one of our favorites, Dustin Poirier, to one of our favorites to talk to on the program. The great, the pride, Marlon Chito Vera. We found out very recently he is fighting Deiveson Figueiredo on August 3rd in Abu Dhabi. Let us not waste any time and say hello to Marlon, who looks completely different. I've never met a human being who every time I see him, look, I feel like you look different than you did yesterday on your social media. Like, didn't you have a mustache yesterday?
2 days ago, I had one.
It's unbelievable. What about this look? You like this look? Do you like the long hair, no beard? Are you vibing with it? What do you feel when you see yourself?
I mean, I love myself, so I look good.
You do.
I spice it up all the time.
Where are you right now, by the way?
I'm building my new gym, so mats, bags, see the cage,
Wow.
everything is over there. So I'm decking my own place, and I'm excited. I'm happy about having this private facility for myself, and you got to invest in yourself. John Jones said one day, in order to be the best, you got to invest in yourself, and I'm doing that.
And where is this gym in relation to where you live?
Near to my house in Costa Mesa.
Okay. And it's just for you?
It's my gym.
Wow. Okay. So will other pros be able to train there, or it's only private just for when you want to use it?
It's private, but my friends will be training here. I mean, I'm not gonna close the door to my people. So it's pretty much me and Parillo. I built this place, and Parillo have all the access. I mean, I told him, this is your place. You can do whatever you want here, and I'm gonna have mats, wall mats, the cage. So I'm gonna wrestle out of here. I'm gonna grapple out of here. I'm gonna keep using the same team, but now have my own private facility. I don't have to, deal with bullshit and politics. And eventually, I felt like at some point in life you have to just have your own, and that peace of mind it will take you to the next level, and it will give you clarity. It will give you focus, and this is not playing around, no Mickey Mouse shit. This is strictly to win fights, and I'm happy for the move, and I'm ballsy enough to roll the dice. I went out of pocket and did my own.
Wow. And what ultimately propelled you to make this call?
I was, I wasn't having that privacy or that how you call it, peace of mind of when you're in someone else's place, there's a lot of people coming in and out. You cannot control the space, and sometimes you need to focus. There's no such thing like roll the rolling door. You and your coach just working and training, and that privacy it would take me to another level of being because I train my ass off, and I'm not looking for distraction. So why not?
How long does this whole process take? Like, when will this be up and running?
Tonight. I hit up a few different companies in the last week, and I say whoever can build it the fastest, take my money. These people profile shop, they told me we can do it, and I wire the money, say do it.
Wow. So by tonight this will be up and running.
Oh yeah, the cage is pretty much ready. They already put the canvas, and then I'm sitting inside the truck so my phone don't get hot outside.
Okay.
So the mats are here, the bags are here, the wall mats are here. So I also 2 days ago I have my contractor come and build a shower because you don't want to be a dirty fucker.
Sure.
So you need a shower in a gym. So yeah, the shower is coming out. It's gonna be done tonight too. So I'm happy, man. I'm excited. I have my own gym.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's a huge deal. And you have a new fight as well on the horizon, August 3rd. When they approached you with Figueiredo, did you like it? What did you think?
Hunter called me and he's like, how you feeling? And I said, I'm great. He's like, are you hurt? I was like, no at all. I took damage on the fight, but nothing was broken, nothing was injured, nothing was torn or anything, thank God. So I told him I'm good. And he's like, are you training? I'm like, that's all I do. I don't lose time, right? And he's like, you think August 3rd is too close? I said, fuck yeah, it's too close. It's too perfect. Let's do it. It's the right time. I mean, I'm in shape, and why not take advantage of being healthy? You know what I'm saying? So the way I live my life helped me to be able to turn around quicker. I mean, I was looking to find November, not for time off, but because I want MSG. I love MSG. It's a special place. But they offered me Cejudo first. They say, you want to fight Henry? I say, yeah, I fight a little fucker. I called Parillo and I was like, hey coach, they offer this, what do you think? He's like, let's do it. You're in the gym, you're looking good, you're focused, and you seem hungry, so let's go for it. They call me back and they said like, oh, we have different plans for him, or I don't I don't really know the exact thing. They say, what about Figueiredo? I say, fuck yeah. I mean, he's a former champ. He's undefeated in my weight class. I mean, why not put another former champ on my collect of heads?
Cejudo, was that the same date?
Yeah, same day.
Okay, which one do you like better?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, no preference.
I mean, I said this before to you. I mean, they call me. I say, call the other guy first because you know what's my reaction. I know some styles are more complicated than others, but at the end of the day, I know I can compete with anyone. And I mean, I already proved myself with everybody. I already been there. I fought for the title. I'm hungry to be back on the title contention. So if they call me, I'll be ready. If I'm hurt, I say I can't right now because I'm not training the way I want to be training. But I fucking roll the dice, man. I keep rolling the dice, and that desire to be a world champion, that fire is even bigger than it was before because, I mean, I fought for the title. I mean, I was a fight away from holding that goal, and, I mean, that fucking hurt, not being able to win it, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to give myself that. I'm going to do it. I really am going to do it, and I'm excited to do it.
We spoke like a week or so after the fight, and you seem to be in pretty good spirits. But just, you know, as you know, it's been what I guess 3 months since the fight, and now you have a new fight to be excited about, and you have this gym. But I'm just curious, like in your private time, how did you digest what happened against Sean in Miami? Are you at peace with it, or is it eating you up inside? How would you describe?
You can let that eat your life. You can let that haunt you for too long. I mean, at the beginning, yeah, it's fresh. You know, that wound is open, it's fresh, but you have to heal. You have to let go, and you have to get back in the horse and aim for something better and bigger. That's why when I went to the hill and run yesterday, I put that quote. That quote, it came out of my mind while I was running. Like, I said something like, in order to get back to where it was, in order to achieve something that I have never achieved, I'm talking about the title in that post. I say, I just need to find more comfort on this comfort. I need to find a way to get back to it. And I say something I love. I mean, a lot of people is looking for motivation, but motivation comes and goes. And some days you wake up and you're not motivated. We're humans. That's normal. But discipline will be there for you if you want. Discipline is what will make me get back there. And I say this and I will say it again. I won't stop, and I won't quit my dream of being a world champion. And I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna fucking, if I have to do whatever I will do it. I mean, I train hard. I've been working hard for many years, so I didn't came this far for fucking nothing, and I'm gonna make it happen eventually.
I love that quote. I saw it. This is it. In order to get back to where I want to be and achieve something I have never done, I need to find more discomfort. Motivation can be a sneaky fucker, but discipline will get you through hell. You thought of that on the spot in the middle of the run?
That I actually stop and write that on my notes.
Wow.
When I get to the top of the hill, and then I walk down and run again. And most of these things comes when I'm running or when I'm doing some sort of meditation, when I'm grounding. Those things come to my head, and when they come to my head, I write them down, because if you don't write them down, they will kind of like go away. And some of these thoughts are really important. That's why I write them down. So on my notes, I have a lot of these things, and sometimes I go back to my notes and I just read them and make me remember what I'm doing things, what's the reason I'm doing this and that. And I'm always looking forward to just find something that pushes me forward, because I mean, time passes by. Sometimes you don't find that fire, but the fire is there. You just have to look for it, and you wanna be like the buffalo. You wanna go into the storm. You don't wanna run away from it. So that's what makes me who I am, and that's why I wanna be a world champion eventually.
By the way, how do you feel about going to Abu Dhabi?
I love it. I started off my career traveling a lot, and I actually like it a lot. Going to places like that, getting to know different cultures, getting to be in a kind of like this comfort place. Like, a lot of people like bitched out about like, oh, I don't have the food I want, I don't have the restaurant I want, I don't have this and that. I'm like, it's fighting, man. I mean, I always think like this: you're in the back of an alley and someone is attacking your family. You're gonna be like, I'm not feeling right now. I'm gonna just let that happen. That's how I see fighting. So if they want to say Abu Dhabi, fuck it. Maybe one of the chicks want to talk to me after the fight. Maybe one of them, like, hey, come to the palace, buddy. Let me know what you need. I mean, you never know. They also promote these cards more. I go in there and they do something crazy. I fucking get back in track. So why not?
By the way, we never really get to see you this close. Your left eye is different than your right eye, huh?
I have something called pterygium. It's like meat growing in your eye. It's totally fine. A lot of people that doesn't understand, they think I have something crazy going on, but it's just because I grew up surfing a lot. So the sun, the salt water, I run a lot, the dust. It's called surfer eye. So everybody that surfs is familiar with it. That's why like this eye is always red. I mean, I smoke weed, but I'm not fucking smoking 30 times a day. But I mean, I don't care. But yeah, it's called pterygium. It's they do a little surgery with laser, but they recommend to do that in case if that is blocking your vision. These have never blocked my vision at all. So
wow, and you've like when I've seen you in person, I've never noticed it.
It's because maybe right now it's dry my eye.
Okay.
I'm always putting drops, but I mean it's really nothing. I mean, all big runners has a little bit. Most of my surfer friends have a little bit, and there is a laser surgery. It's like takes like 10 minutes, but I'm afraid of that. So I'd rather go till the very end before I do it.
I don't blame you. By the way, getting to skate with Tony Hawk, what's that like?
Man, his son invited me to Tony's birthday celebration to the surf ranch, and we had a blast. And man, being next to Tony, it's like, I mean, that's when I met Kelly Slater. I was like, holy shit, I'm invited to Tony Hawk's birthday party. I mean, that was like, I was living every kid's dreams from the 90s, right? So I was like, I was just grateful to be there. I mean, it was amazing to get to know him. He's a solid ass dude. He's super chill, very nice. I mean, we talked for a while. I had his son on my podcast, so I get to know him a little more. And I was like, man, you guys are amazing. So after we come off the ranch, I text them. I was like, hey man, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And then Tony's like, hey, you want to come to my podcast on Monday? And we skated a little bit. And I was like, fuck yeah. So we kind of like had a good connection in a way. And it's crazy. Like now we're cool. Like, I mean,
damn.
That's what like people don't realize. I'm like, fuck, I'm always stuck there. I'm always get to know these cool people. So I'm guessing the energy and the universe is going to the right way, because if that wouldn't be the case, I wouldn't be in this position on these things, because, you know, things gotta be right. So he gave me his skateboard he was using that day, and
wow,
I don't know, man. I get to experience some crazy shit in this life. Like I'm like, I can say I achieve a lot. So it's cool to say that to me, because I'm not really chasing cloud, or I don't give a fuck about who's more popular or what. But I have in my lifetime, I have to meet one of the best people in the world and become friends with them, which is even crazier. So I was happy I get to surf with him and skate with him in a period of like 10 days.
Imagine that kid in Ecuador back in the day, you know, being told that he'd hang out with Tony, Kelly, Action, all the other famous people that you hang out with. What a life.
It's crazy, man. That's why I'm so grateful, and I feel like I'm in a good mood. Like I talked to Action this morning. I showed him a picture of the gym. He was happy about what I was doing, and he's just like, I just have a good circle around me, and most of these people that they have big names or they're pretty big on what they do, they're so humble and so nice that they just almost in a way teach me like how to be, you know. And you see so many arrogant people that they're nothing and they think they're a lot, and I just get to get the right experience in life with these people. I'm like, okay, so the more I grow, the bigger I get in the UFC, is probably the nicer I'm gonna be. Just, you know, just see my friends leading by example. I'm like, oh, you guys are so chill, you guys are nice. So why would I be a dick to people or not, or there's someone I don't have the time for a photo or something? So I feel like I'm just in the right place at the right time, and it happened to be this lifetime, and I'm excited about it.
By the way, was there any talk of you fighting in Ecuador after everything, all the love you got in Miami? Did they mention that?
No, honestly, I feel it will take a while for that, just because the infrastructure maybe is not the best, but that's one of my dreams, man. If I fight in Ecuador, I think the country's gonna get upside down. So the UFC better be ready for that. But if that happened one day, dude, I'm gonna fucking go fireworks.
Oh my God, that would be incredible. And any talk of Jan? I thought maybe you and Jan would be the fight. Was there any talk of that?
I mean, dude, we don't really like each other, and now that I have a fight, I won't focus on talking shit about him, because I gotta talk shit about Figgy in a way. You know, I won't waste my shit talking. But I mean, he was saying November, he was saying right now, but the UFC says he's hurt me, and he actually said not to fight till December. And fuck, I'm not getting a sponsor by Russia government, so
Fair enough.
And he was, I would say he was all talk about it, but that's not here or there. So I'm gonna focus on Figueiredo. I know that's a big challenge, and I'm taking this just as serious as I was taking the title fight, all the fights before. I'm gonna get in there and fucking let this motherfucker know we're on my time. And if I have to dig deep and fucking go to the basement and pull all the demons, we fucking bring them.
I don't want to. I'll leave you in a minute because I don't want you sitting in the truck forever there. But Figgy, what do you think of him?
Bro, it's okay. It's
All
okay.
right.
I can talk. I'm coming. Look, I'm sitting on the bags.
All right.
Nice. I'm cool. We can talk.
Okay.
I feel, man, it's a dangerous fight, bro. That's a guy that is coming. He's been a world champion. He knows what he's been a world champion. He fought for the belt many times. He fought big names, and he's undefeated on my weight class. He beat a guy that I beat. He beat a former champion Garvin. I know that guy is not to take it lightly. I mean, I can say whatever I want. I can be mean, I can be a dick, but I know that's gonna be a fight that I will have to fight. So, I mean, you know this about me. I'm not taking it easy. I'm not chilling right now. I'm going 4x4. I really wanna get in there and make this guy fucking suffer, and I just wanna get on top with a win. And I'm figuring out how to get back to a title conversation, and the best way to do that is going to Abu Dhabi and fucking rip this man apart.
Have you been surprised at the success that he's had at 135?
Not really. If I have to break down the fights and have my opinion, he mixed it up well. He take you down when you're getting excited with the striking. I just believe the level of grappling I have in the ground, I can match anyone. I've been with everybody in the ground. I've been taken down, yes, but this is not because my wrestling is not good. It's just because sometimes I don't mind fighting off my back. And most of the guys I fight, I either submit them or get close to submit them. So I train with the highest level of jiu-jitsu that you can find around in California, which is the Mendes brothers. So the amount of people I grapple with on weekly basis is like, I grapple a lot. I just like to fucking scrap a little bit more than I like to grapple on fights, but my cardio for grappling is always there because I wrestle also a lot. I go to the high school and I just scrap with D1 guys, and I'm always getting better. I'm always looking to improve my attacks, my defense. But I mean, if you want to take me down, I'm not worried at all. But I'm not worried because I don't think he's good. I'm not worried because I am doing my part. I'm doing my job. So he's been having success, but I mean, I would say he beat big names on the division that probably don't have the drive that I still have. Right. I feel I'm still younger in my soul. I still like very fired up about getting to the title contention, and maybe Font. I mean, Font took a bad beating with me, and I respect him as a fighter, but I feel that fight should be stopped, and it wasn't a stop. So I just keep doing what I'm supposed to do, and that probably took some fighting out of him. Maybe, I don't know. And then in the other side with Garvin, I mean, his success has been kind of like not the same when he was champion. Like something happened when he lost the belt. Maybe, I mean, we don't know what people go through their minds, right? We just see what we see online. Everybody's training. Everybody looks good on social media, but where's your mind at? And he from the outside. We talk a little bit after I fought Cruz, but I don't know where his mind's at. So maybe that's not 100% today, but at the end of the day, mine it is, and I'm gonna get in there in Abu Dhabi and do my thing.
By the way, main event, that card is in your weight class. Who do you like, Corey or Umar?
I don't give a fuck about either one. I mean, I probably will fight one of them eventually. So, God bless him.
Fair enough. What about Nick Diaz? You're on a card with Nick Diaz against Vicente
I'm
Luque.
excited about that.
How do you feel?
I'm excited about that. I feel great. I mean, Hunter told me before anyone knew, and now he knows I can keep a good secret because there wasn't leak, and I knew early. So, I mean, I know Vicente Luque. We talked before, but you can root against a Diaz brother in a way, right? Unless you're fighting some of my friends, right? But when I heard Nick is back, I was like, holy shit, that's cool. I mean, that's a guy that took away from him 5 years of his life, of his best fighting years for marijuana, which give you nothing. And that's a guy that pretty much set a staple for all the stoners out there. Like, he's the guy now, it's fucking fully legal. He's the guy that was fuck you, and he's the guy that was cool before your favorite fighter was cool. So you have to appreciate the name, the last name especially, because they did a lot for the sport, and those are staples of a fuck you, and I'm a fuck you fighter.
Yes, I love it. And that's why we love you, Chito. That's why we freaking love you. I see you out there cooking tomahawk steaks and shit like that over open fires. You're becoming a bit of a chef yourself, huh? You're becoming a mini action.
I like the name. There's a reason they call me Tepsi. I mean, it's not a giving nickname. I earn it.
Fair enough. What is your specialty? Like, what is your signature dish?
I mean, it depends. My kids love my bolognese pasta. My tomahawks are becoming just better over time. My lamb racks are pretty fucking sick. My shrimp tacos are fucking good. My guacamole is sensational. So
that's a whole menu right there. That's a whole freaking menu. What's in that, by the way? What are we drinking?
Black coffee.
Straight black, no milk, no almond milk, no oat milk.
No, I will do my dirty chai later this week, but for now, just black coffee.
Why later this week? Not every day dirty chai?
No, because I don't want to. Because it's like kind of like a treat. Even if the amount of sugar is almost nothing, I'm very picky with the sugars coming into my body. So it's like a once a week, twice a week thing. But black coffee is like 10 times a day.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You're the man, Chito.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Good luck with the gym, the building of it and all that. Maybe one day I'll come over there and show you a couple moves. Maybe
that'd be sick. That'd be sick, like a nose attack, kind of like
whatever. I don't want to give away my secrets, but I'll show you a couple things that could come into play.
I mean, if you come to Cali, bro, I cook a mean tomahawk for you.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's very nice. And then we'll top it off with a nice dirty chai on the back end. Wash it down.
100%. I bring you to the best dirty chai I find around here.
Incredible. Thank you so much for the time as always, and good luck to you. Much love, my friend.
Appreciate you. Likewise, brother.
There he is, Chito Vera. What a guy. What a guy. What a guy. What a vibe, huh? What a vibe between him and Dustin. We can only wish to be so cool. We can
Dustin
only
with
wish.
the one-liners, man.
How does he do it?
So good. It's just so
what was the one that he had with an insane view?
No. With you were like, get to the mountaintop and just retire, and he said, something like with the most outstanding viewers.
Oh my god,
it's just too good. It's too good.
I really do think he'd be a great motivational speaker, and I know he cracked the joke about Chandler, but there's different types of motivational speakers,
I think
right?
he'd be an amazing one.
Like
his is more short and direct. I mean, I saw him. The quote that he mentioned to you was from a guy, Inky Johnson. That's a motivational speaker.
Which quote was that?
It was the one about like, it's not about what I acquire on the journey. It's who I become on it. Yeah, Inky Johnson's like a great motivational speaker. So like,
honestly, Chito could be a freaking motivational speaker. I mean, talking about life and the journey and all that stuff too.
All their own different ways, man.
God, these guys.
You got to go through something to be able to be a motivational speaker.
100%. Yes, you can't be a 21-year-old motivational speaker. And Chandler,
Or just have only one, have just only
one trial
life.
and tribulation.
You know,
Yes,
you gotta go through the trials and tribulations. Yeah.
Chandler speaks to people in a different way, and you know that's why like not every self-help book is for everyone. Not every not like the specific self-help book isn't for everyone, or a specific speaker isn't for everyone. So I think both of them just have their own kind of gift, and Chito as well. Man, that tomahawk looked good though. I tell you what. Yeah.
Surprised they didn't drop a well done to him.
Listen, I don't need to be forcing my ideologies on everyone. You know, his passion for the steak would propel me to maybe drop it down to a medium well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Chito, you could go a little longer, but you don't have to go
Over
so
the
long.
open flame.
Yeah, what's the difference there?
Finishing off the red meat with a dirty chai latte.
Not bad.
That's a 10-2.
Yeah, that's
Bro.
a 10-3 right
Bro.
there. That's a 10-3 one-way trip.
Nah, that's
We'll see you in 27 minutes.
by the way, one of my favorite things to do at night is a nightcap like that.
Of caffeine? Of
One
dirty
espresso?
chai?
A nightcap?
1,000,000%. It's a dream. Few things make me happier than a espresso. By the way, you never been to Italy?
No.
Been to Italy?
I know that's like a common practice after a big meal. You get the espresso, but like, I just have never been one to do it that close to bedtime. You know?
You ever have affogato?
Oh yeah, it's
That's
amazing.
incredible.
I had one like a week and a half ago. It's
Where?
Like a
Where?
root beer float, right?
Jersey City Gelato. Shout out. They got one. They got one in our Newark airport now as well.
Jersey
I went to the
City.
real one.
What, Terminal A?
Terminal A's got one.
Terminal A. Top 5
Yeah.
terminal on the planet
Oh, yeah,
right now.
It's just
LaGuardia up there too these days.
yeah,
Jersey
shout out
City
LGA.
Gelato. So do
Yeah,
they do?
it's tucked away in my neck of the woods.
So what do? They do a vanilla ice cream with espresso on top.
Vanilla gelato.
But that's what I
And
mean.
they
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
And they like create like a little. It's almost like a cup with inside the cup, and then they pour the espresso in that,
Ooh.
and then it starts melting it, and then it's sort
Ah.
of melding. It's almost as if it's a cream. Becomes a perfect like drinking temp. Oh, it's great.
By the way, the mix of the cold and the hot is just phenomenal.
It's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
just like the
An
way it
avocado.
just. Oh my god! It's just.
Tough to beat.
It's just amazing. I love a good affogato. I love a good coffee. I really I could have a coffee at 9 o'clock and fall asleep 20 minutes later.
Incredible. I'm like a
You're one of those
no-
people
no
like,
caffeine
oh,
after like 5, and that's pushing it.
really?
Usually no caffeine after like noon.
What kind of dreams you have, Ariel, when you do that?
Nothing. I am not. Honestly, I'm not affected whatsoever. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like the
That's crazy to me.
caffeinated gum we have floating around here.
I can
where you,
have the
like,
whole freaking pack.
I'm
What, my
sitting here
neuro gum?
jittering, and
I have one somewhere here. I can have a whole pack of those.
that's insane.
I love them. I have my calm and clarity right here.
I'm
Bang.
not good at many things, but one thing I am good at is getting a good night's sleep. Pride myself on being just a top tier sleeper.
Some say you sleeping
8,
right
9,
now.
8-9 hours a night. That's why I like Sean O'Malley so much.
But
Best
no,
sleeper in the UFC.
I couldn't agree more. I'm just saying it doesn't affect my sleep.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
maybe deep down it is though. You never know.
Think so?
Not getting into that deep REM, you know.
Also, I will say it's not like it's something that I'm seeking. It's more like you're on vacation, you're walking around. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Oh man, yeah. If you're over in Europe,
At night, I'm not like, I'm not making a coffee at 9 p.m. Although that's
pulling out the puck, a little espresso.
Oh, yeah. What's the puck? What's the puck?
To stamp down the grounds when you
Yeah,
shoot an espresso.
Puck of espresso.
I'm kind of
You make
worried
your
about
own
the
espresso?
Hawaiian espresso.
What are you talking about, puck?
Well, we talked about
Come on, man.
the
Puck of
stamper. I
espresso.
think it actually has a name.
Bro, that thing, the dun, 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 that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Bro, my machine takes full beans. I don't have to do that. You
Wow.
you use a grinder machine.
Oh, it must be nice. Oh yeah, I hand grind.
I use a Ura that you drop the beans right in. Brrr.
Wow.
Never
Did it
heard of it.
Oh, it's incredible.
Is that one of those you have to inquire about the price things? They don't even have it on.
They're like, oh, sir, we'll send you a quote via.
yeah.
Is that true? I don't
mail.
know. I got it
If
as
you
a
want to
birthday.
know, if you want to know the price, you can't afford it. I'll tell you that much.
I got it as a birthday present for my parents last
wow.
year. Maybe 2 years ago.
What are
40
you working with, Frankie? Mocha Master?
The one and only.
No,
No espresso, just drip coffee. But
I see mine right here. I mean, is it?
You can see it, the reflection on your glasses.
Oh yeah.
What do you
That's
think
a
it
lot
is?
of zeros.
What-
That's quite
no,
a few
no.
commas.
What do you think?
$2.99.
No. My guess is going to be this is like a real deal, big time espresso maker.
Not just espresso, coffee, cappuccino.
Oh wow.
It's got a milk, thing too.
600.
600? Would you say 600 is too expensive?
No. I don't think anything is too expensive. If this is a passion of yours, fund it. How much is it? 1,200?
I get great joy when people come over. I'm like, oh, let me make you a cappuccino. I get
Oh,
great.
I've been to that guy's
Oh,
house.
yeah.
I've been to that guy's house.
I love that.
You want a coffee? I'm just like, oh yeah, sure. And you think he's just gonna like pour you up a simple cup of black
No.
coffee, and then he pulls out the and he starts frothing the.
Is it barista?
Is that not
frothing
fun?
the milk.
Wait, is that
I'm
annoying?
like, this guy's pulling it out. No, it's great. It's great. I'm just saying, I've been to that guy's house.
Yeah, I'm that guy. 1,000. I ask
Yeah.
every person, you want? Even if they're over at like 9 p.m. You want a coffee? I'll make you a coffee right now.
Shoes off. You want a coffee?
1,000,000%.
that-
But you don't
that's the
pull out
go-to.
a
I
digital
love
scale and do a pour over for them?
No, I have whole milk. I have almond milk. I have soy milk. I have oat milk. I have
Shout out, you
unsweetened
got the
almond
hole
milk.
in your house.
Yeah, because my kids.
Respect.
Actually, it's more like 2%, but close
Yeah,
enough.
I'm actually a big 2%er. They, whenever I get an espresso or I get a latte, or it's like, what type of milk? Whole milk good? I'm like, nah, let's dial it back.
Yeah.
I'll take skim if you got it. And they're usually like 2%. I'm like, yeah, we'll do 2%.
Is the price right, Ariel?
The second guess was closer, 13. It says here on William. Is that a lot?
Yeah, I would imagine that's a lot. I mean, he gave me a lot of crap for my $3.79 Mocha Master.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm working with like a Black & Decker, $49.99.
yeah, but you know that there are levels. Like it's.
Oh, I'm aware.
Wow,
of
yeah, and apparently we're on the lower
Yeah,
level.
we're not on that level.
We're 10-1 and
That's what it
10-2.
seems
You're
like.
10.99.
Honestly, before all this talk, I was worried it was going to say like 25. It's that good.
13 is.
13's pricey.
Yeah.
I mean, the parents got it for me, so
That's very nice of them.
It is very nice of them.
of them.
Yeah. it was
I'm
nice.
glad to see they left one in the break room for us last night.
Yeah. Oh, what do you got there?
Oh, it ain't no $1,300 coffee machine, that's for sure.
Oh, here at
Black out of the old
wait.
vending machine down the hall.
No. I will say here they've got a similar thing. I mean, they do full beans here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Actually, I'm saying all this. I've been on a heavy tea kick lately.
Tea's great.
Yeah, I've been getting on tea to warm up for the Euros. Been
is it
kicking
true
back
that you
some
have the little
English
bamboo
breakfast.
whisk and you do the matcha and you...
No, matcha's just for the dog.
Oh no,
Only
I'm
she
actually
gets
big on the matcha.
That's what I was
I'm a
talking
matcha.
about.
I'm a matcha master. Studied for
And that whisk was
months.
probably what, $2, $3?
Can I be honest with you?
$14.99. Be honest with yourself.
I've never had a matcha tea before.
You're
What?
kidding me?
I've had matcha mochi. Have you ever had like?
Oh,
the-
those are good,
No,
yeah.
Those are good. But
Yeah, green tea ice cream.
I have a
good-
dog
good
named
in
Matcha.
the morning.
I
I don't know
don't-
how much you like matcha. Now that I'm seeing how much of a tolerance you have for caffeine, I don't know how much you'd
Yeah,
like
you would-
matcha.
Nah, I like it. I think
No
I should.
Japanese tea ceremony in your past?
No, there's a place right next door here. It's a Puerto Rican.
$7.87.
Yeah, and they give
Yeah.
you the coffee in a plastic bag.
Yeah, it
Well,
makes you feel
can
like
get
you're...
it in a cup, but that's like their special. The
Why?
coquito latte.
Yeah, I'm like, yo,
Because they
what is
offer to
this?
put rum in it. It's like...
yes, they have
It
rum.
feels like the adult Capri Suns
It's
they do at
great.
some bars.
Have you had it?
It was embarrassing to bring it back over here during lunchtime. I'm like...
You brought
feel
the
like I'm
plastic
drinking
bag
coffee.
back there?
Yes. Yeah, that was just last
When?
week. Last
Oh, I
Wednesday?
guess you didn't
Last
tell me.
Monday?
They got good matcha. They got good matcha.
You know, 787.
Shout out to 'em.
It's a strong 6.
Man, strong. Yeah, I had a different one, not in the, not with the rum. Like they had all these, and I was like, it's all right. It's no Black Fox. Black
Oh.
Fox is the best.
So
Black
the
Fox
last
is
watch
great.
party, I
Mhm.
kid you not, Andy asked if I could grab her a coffee. I'm like, I got you. I go into this coffee shop at 8:01. They're like, sorry, sir, we're closed. I'm like, fire up the coffee machine. Like, what? It's been a minute.
Sure.
That's it. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Like you don't just have like a pot sitting around that you can
Still
just
went
dump
back
into a
the
cup.
next week to get a coffee.
Shout out.
And what did they say?
They were like, sir, we told you we're closed. I'm like, no,
Oh.
that would have been funny.
Wow, you almost got.
I got a secret spot that I found that I think you guys would love. I can share offline.
Oh, you don't want to say it?
No, I can't say it.
Is it around here?
Oh yeah, very close to you.
By the way, I
Hidden gem.
okay, I'd love to hear it. I mean, I'm
yeah.
pretty loyal to Black Fox. I don't mind giving them a
I would
shout-out.
just say give this place one try.
Okay. I was here yesterday. I thought it would be dead around, Sunday afternoon, Financial District, it was pretty busy. The office here was dead.
Of course, yeah.
But around
It's
town.
Monday, the office is dead.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good
Around
point.
town, I mean, yeah. Weather's great outside.
Financial District,
Shout out.
I'm seeing here, courtesy of MMA Fighting, Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady in the works for September 7th. This was first reported by MMA Bets on Twitter. So
Bets.
Solid fight at 170 for both. Interesting
September
fight.
7th is in, that's not the Sphere, is it?
No, that's the following week. But I thought the
13th.
Sphere was the
14th.
is the Sphere the 14th or the 16th? I always thought it was the 16th, but maybe not. Let's see. I believe isn't the 7th
14th.
No, but isn't the is 14th is Saturday? Isn't the 7th Paris?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Still
that's
a great
good.
fight to add.
No, it's great. It's great. And of course, this weekend, another banger weekend. We've got the
Oh no, Paris, September 28th. Sorry.
Oh, later, you're right. Yeah, it did seem weird. PFL 4, we've got that. The one that I was telling you about earlier on June 13th. You know what? I like Thursdays for the PFL. I like Thursday. It's a little different. You know, Friday's a little weird. I hate when they do the Friday Bellator or PFL event and it's Friday afternoon. It screws me up. I don't like it. So this PFL event is this Thursday, Mohegan Sun. You still going to go, Frank, or are you going to sit this one out?
I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, don't blame you. Valentin Moldavsky against Linton Vassell trilogy fight. That is the co-main. Excuse me, the main. The co-main is Dakota Dacheva against Chelsea Hackett. Dacheva 11-0. Thiago Santos on the card. Liz Carmouche on the card. Tyler Santos against Jenna Bishop on the card. Taro Fortune on the card. Looking at the rest of the card. So there you have it. It all kicks off on Thursday, ESPN Plus, 5:30 Eastern, 9 p.m. main card on ESPN and ESPN Plus. In addition to that, we have the UFC event, which is taking place at the Apex. I don't think it will look as good as it did last night for the NXT event, but it is headlined by Alex Perez versus Tatsuro Taira. I feel like you're excited about this one, GC. Undefeated Taira going up against the former title contender Alex Perez.
Yeah, can't wait. Excited to see Tyra in a pretty big matchup.
Big spot for him.
Big spot.
The biggest event, though, of the weekend as far as combat sports is concerned is the return of Tank Davis going up against Frank Martin, 29-0 against 18-0. That's on Amazon Prime pay-per-view. David Benavidez on the card as well. Gary Russell on the card. I don't know what PBC is going to do. They aren't putting on enough cards. It's just these pay-per-views. This is the third one since the Amazon deal started. But I feel like they need some fight nights, some free shows to get guys fights. Nevertheless, that is probably the biggest event of the weekend. That is this weekend, Gervonta Davis returning. First time he fights since the Ryan Garcia fight. So 14 months or so. Quick word from our good friends over at DraftKings. Yeah, NBA Finals in full swing. Celtics up 2-0. Joe, very happy about these results. I think they win in 5 at this point. You know, maybe the Mavs steal one. It feels like it's destiny. By the way, I was listening to Sean Grandy on the radio. Local Boston play-by-play guy. Obviously, he's done Bellator. He is so freaking good at play-by-play on the radio. Really impressive. Boston fans are lucky to have him. Anyway, we're this close to crowning an NBA champion with the action heating up on the court. It's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. DraftKings has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down. It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. Try betting on something like a team win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, place your first bet. It's that easy. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TheMMAR. That's code TheMMAR for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. Crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. West Virginia, visit www.1900gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Wire text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort. In Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.co/bball for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Yeah. All right, so how did the team do? How did the guys do? Oh, what a sad sight this is. A solo
in
show.
the TV. Haven't had this in a while.
Yeah.
Miss you, Rick, if you're watching.
It doesn't feel the same. How are we feeling, Rick? Can we get a
so.
status update over in Slack? How are we feeling? Any chatter from Rick?
Who, me?
No, nothing.
No, nothing.
Nothing from him.
I like that Euro poster back there. Now I can see
Oh,
the whole.
yeah, I had to get it. I mean, you talked me into it last week. Officially placed
Bro.
the old bet.
And then they lose to Iceland.
Got a classic jersey on the way. Yeah, I mean, I'm all in.
Bex?
No, it's unnamed. I think it's like the 92 third jersey. It's like blue. Either way, I'm all in. It's coming home. Talked me into it.
By the way, Eric with an update here.
What is that?
Got medicine, feeling a lot better. Confirmed strep.
Oh.
Well, when he told me how he was feeling, I was like, this sounds like strep. And to be honest, my experience with strep way worse than COVID.
Yeah, strep. I've had strep a few times. It's gnarly.
Awful. So we hope you feel better, Rick. And
or this is all just an elaborate ploy because if you look at the old Parlay Pals this week.
Oh, what happened?
The only one red.
Oh.
One New York red.
Wow,
That is not just red. That is strep red.
Talk about kicking a man while he's down. Jeez Louise. Guys out there
If he is
struggling.
down, or if he's just avoiding costing the parlay.
I'm not going there.
I mean, these are things that Frank floated around, and now he's in my head. Silence from one mysterious Frank on this one.
What'd you say? Who, me? Look, we did our part.
Yeah, no.
And
we sure did our part.
I will
We'll
say,
be back
I
next
don't
week.
think that he's saying he's sick, so he doesn't have to. I think that because this busted, his immune system got shot, and the strep just took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope he feels better.
Either that or going on the retreat with like 50 children and being stuck in a cabin with them.
I think he should be a doctor. I think he just nailed it.
Yeah, so the Parlay Pals, the hot streak ends. We'll be back. We'll bounce back. I got full faith. My picks?
Yeah.
Did well.
Okay.
2-1 on the singles, 2-0 on the parlays. Only missed on an underdog bet on Thiago Moises, up almost 5 units.
Yeah.
It's just a roller coaster of a year. I'm sure next week I'll do terribly, and then I'll do great, and then we're just a bouncing ball right now. Gotta put some good weeks together, and then just 2 big hitters. I have to shout out here.
What do we
One.
got? Oh, we're not doing the.
I didn't know.
Okay. Wow, we went straight into this. This feels weird.
I'm trying to keep the train moving.
Okay.
I gave the pause.
Yeah, I thought it was coming too.
Didn't go, so I said because I only had 2, we'll just rip through them real quick. Zach, Graceful DFS, 5 legs, plus 10,298. Dominick Reyes, Imavov, Zach Reese to win by KO, Bruno Ferrer to win by KO, and Raul Rosas Jr. to win by submission. Turned $100 into 10,400. So shout out to Zach. And then a repeat offender, Marky Nude, Marcus. 16 legs, $25 stake. Got a little bit of everything in there. Some UFC, Daniel Marcos, Bracatona. Looks like some Sydney versus Geelong. He got a little Carlos Alcaraz in the French Open final. John Florence. I think this might be track. He's got the Boston Celtics. Our Collingwood Magpies are in there. Absolutely ridiculous parlay, but he turns $25 into 6,075, 238 to 1, and turns himself into a good weekend. So shout out to Mark, shout out to Zach. Shout out to UFC Louisville. And that's the recap.
And shout out to all the motivational love on today's program. And
I feel like giant in here. I feel like I'm just like
you do
overseeing you.
Because you're never.
Yeah, I'm always in the 2 box.
I don't mind it. I mean, the weird thing is that I'm looking at you through a screen over there. I'm not even looking at you, but I think from a viewership standpoint, it works. I also wanted to give a shout out to Brady Pierron. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He gave us a few bucks on the chat. Still not sure where this money goes, but it's going
don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean,
super late. Sorry, but please, thoughts. Dustin versus Justin, 165-pound title / introduction of new weight class. I mean, don't hate it, but I just don't think it's coming anytime.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing 165 right now.
They do. It's not just about 165. It's about 165, and then you have to bump 170 to 175, and that screws things up a little bit.
Makes a whole mess of it.
You know? And then
also, why would Dustin and Justin, both coming off losses, automatically be the 165 title fight?
Right. What would be yours? If you had to introduce 165 right now, what's the title fight?
Leon versus Islam. You just meet them in the middle.
Wow, that's a big time fight. Now, would you want to do it with guys who are already champions in a different weight class?
Who else do you do it with is my question.
Connor Chandler.
I mean, okay, yeah. Sign me up. I'm there. That's a real one.
Wow, that would be crazy.
A guy coming off of 2 straight losses versus a guy coming off a loss.
Who are you talking about?
McGregor's lost 2 straight?
Nah, 3 years. You wash those away.
Oh, washed them.
Yeah, those don't count. Those don't count.
I mean, look at what Dominick Reyes did.
Look at what Dominick Reyes did. The blood clots. That sounds horrible.
Scary.
Can't
Scary,
walk.
man.
Jeez Louise.
And also them getting to his heart, and a massage is what like ruptured it.
Oh,
crazy, man. Scary stuff.
Also, how about Chito just building his gym in like a day?
You always focus on him looking different. I swear he's also just like, he also joins from a different location. And the only consistent thing is that he's drinking some sort of caffeinated beverage.
It's a good point.
Tea, a coffee, a mix, a chai, a dirty chai. He just always is popping up from different places.
That is a good point. Sometimes he's in a backyard spot. Sometimes he's in a car. Sometimes he's in his house. This time he's in a truck.
Yeah,
building a gym.
All over the gaff.
Yeah, he's got a guy coming to his house to the gym to make a shower in a day. Yeah, no problem. What a life.
Him and Tony Hawk relationship is. Tony Hawk's a legend in my eyes.
Tony Hawk, Chito, Kelly Slater, Action Bronson. I mean, you talk about a puff pass, rotation. Right? That's what it is. Couldn't think of what it was.
Yeah, that's a dream blunt rotation.
Is puff pass? Does that work?
I mean, that's a standard technique.
Does it mean the same?
No. Puff pass would mean you hit it twice and then you pass it along.
Would that be akin to me speaking in Arabic to Armin Tarukian?
No, not at all. I don't know how those two relate.
I got killed for that. For speaking.
Yes.
And by the way,
I was just going to keep it moving.
By the way, I could speak if someone wants to speak in French to another, but like, there's no ownership on language.
Sure.
If someone wants to say arrivederci to me, I'll say arrivederci back. If someone wants to say pronto, I'll say pronto. If someone wants to say konnichiwa, I'll say konnichiwa. We are all one. That's what people don't understand. We are all one. You get me?
Yeah, I get you, man.
Yeah.
I like this. You're continuing the motivational streak on the show today.
We're all one. So stop feeling like you've got people. Stop feeling like got you. Got you. And by the way, if you care, first language that I spoke as a kid growing up was Arabic. My parents spoke Arabic to each other. It went Arabic, French, and then English. In fact, my first day at school in pre-K, they sent me home because I couldn't speak English.
Wow.
They said, go home. 3 months.
Go home.
Literally, they sent me home.
Learn English.
Learn English, come back. We can't have your type around here.
Wow. Montreal, rough streets.
It is tough. And that, you know what? What that did was build an armor around me. And I realized that if I can overcome that no, I was trying to make it as wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. All right, we are done. It's good. It's a good day. A good day has been had.
Great day.
It's time to say goodbye. Yeah.
You all right there?
Yeah, no. Salam
Sounds like you
alaikum,
could
Frank.
use some motivation.
Inshallah, we'll be back on Wednesday's show. Alhamdulillah, we'll be back on Wednesday's show. Salam alaikum to you, Frank.
Thank you.
When I say salam alaikum, you know what you say back?
Thank you.
Wa alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam.
I can't. No, thank you.
No.
Thank you.
We're going to get to this. We're going to get this right. And then I say to you, bonjour. You say, comment ça va?
In production, we say copy.
We can speak all kinds of different languages here. That's what we are. We're inclusive, okay?
10-4.
By the way, what time do you think you're going to land tomorrow when we meet at the office?
I'll be here at 8 a.m.
Do you think we should circle back and
Yeah,
and
just
reconnect
find some time on my
beforehand?
calendar and
BCC you?
yeah, and then bring some people for Viz.
Yes. Oh man. What's another good one?
Oh man.
Um,
To be honest,
download.
yeah, let me download. They all suck.
Just not sure if I have enough bandwidth.
Bandwidth is a
Right.
great
I'm
one.
juggling a lot of things right now. Moving mountains.
Bandwidth is a great one.
Make sure we have all our ducks in a row.
Ducks in a row is a
To
great
piggyback
one.
off of what Connor just said.
Piggy-
Oh
Piggyback.
yeah, piggyback.
Oh,
Organic.
piggyback.
Organic.
We just need to come up with some actionable items here
Yes.
to move forward with the process.
Find some time on my calendar.
Thank you, Jared Cannonier, Dominick Reyes, Savannah Marshall, Dustin Poirier, Chito Vera, them, you. Back on Wednesday. Same time.